What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. This one is a really weird scenario. I don't know why it's been recommended so much, but hey, I'm a man of the people. If you guys ask for it, I'm gonna do it. It essentially boils down to, what if Goku was overpowered, because that's what it is. What if Goku had Frieza's potential? This one is meant to be fun, given the premise and all. So let's mess with that. This isn't gonna be something ultra serious. And you'll be seeing what I mean as we go on. For this video, let's set a like goal of 4,000 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part of the series, making it into a full story too. Anyways, let's begin. This is based on Goku's potential alone, not his raw power from the get-go. So, on planet Vegeta, he still looks like a normal low-class Saiyan. Not like Broly with fluctuations in power, or Vegeta who had a decently high power from birth. No, he's just gonna look pretty average. Sure, he might look a little bit stronger than normal, but no one's gonna really get to see it. So, nothing changes about him being sent off to Earth or whatever. But pretty much everything that does follow changes. I feel like one potential issue with this scenario is the fact that Goku does turn into a Great Ape at some point, and realistically if he had a really high potential, him as a Great Ape would be incredibly powerful and it would pretty much destroy everything. But remember what I said, we're having fun with this scenario, so we can't just end it there. By some miracle, he's stopped, Grandpa Gohan sadly dies, but Earth is intact, which is really all we could ask for right now. As Goku continues growing, living in the woods on his own, he's inadvertently training, growing a lot stronger. He doesn't even know his own potential. Of course, he doesn't know he's a Saiyan, but he doesn't know his own potential either. He has immense amounts of power within him. And as you'd probably expect, a lot of the early parts of Dragon Ball won't be too tough for him. Of course, he is going to have a very different mindset growing up though. So let's say he ends up with Roshi eventually, training with him and Krillin, going into a tournament. And even if he faces threats beforehand like the Pilaf gang or the Red Ribbon Army, they're obviously going to be no issue to him. But the tournaments are where we start to see some real change. Goku would definitely win these tournaments. Jackie Chun wouldn't even be able to stop him. Roshi's amazed at Goku's power. He knew he was a prodigy and all, after seeing him perform the Kamehameha so easily. But Goku's just growing so quickly, he can't even keep up with it. And that's where his different mindset comes in. He beats Jackie Chun, and this doesn't make him evil or anything, but he loses an important lesson. He basically thinks he's unstoppable. And in his defense, he basically is unstoppable right now. But without gaining that valuable lesson that he gained in the main story, it's definitely going to affect his actions moving forward. Roshi only hopes that this could be taught somehow. Goku's just growing too strong, which is great, but also, he doesn't want it to corrupt him. Goku is thankfully pure of heart, and that's really all that matters to Roshi. As long as he keeps this pureness, and nothing overtakes it, it shouldn't be too big of a concern, right? We fast forward to the 22nd World Tournament. It's a pretty similar story here. Goku wins against Tenshinhan pretty easily in fact. As he continues training, his power soars even higher. Higher than he can even imagine or really fathom. 10 would be no issue for him. But he is going to face his first struggle in a while. Not a struggle in battle, but a mental struggle. The Pilaf gang was lucky enough to survive their first encounter with Goku, meaning King Piccolo eventually is revived. Of course, this leads to Krillin's death. And Goku feels rage like he's never felt before. He's never encountered something like this. He's lived a pretty good life so far. Of course, he doesn't really know his origin, but everything in his life has been awesome. He's made great friends along the way, he's grown a lot stronger, and he's never faced any real challenge, but now he's confronting death. It's not something he's unfamiliar with. I mean, look at the Red Ribbon arc too. But this is the death of someone close to him, Krillin, his best friend. It's such a shock to him. It's so jarring. He realizes he may be infallible, but everyone around him, they're not. Even with his amazing strength, something that he's recognized by now. That doesn't mean that everyone else is automatically protected. And something snaps within Goku. He feels this rage for the first time ever, and it's overpowering. Whoever did this, he can't let them get away with it. He failed to protect his friend. But most importantly, it means Krillin is gone. Goku partially feels guilt for not being able to protect him, but is mainly focused on the fact that Krillin is actually dead in general. It shakes him to his core, and the anger explodes. He morphs into something different. His aura, it flares up. A golden key surrounds him. And while he can't really see it, he undergoes physical transformations as well. His hair, it turns golden. It spikes up. His eyes change color. As he transforms, the building he's in collapses. With this power overflowing, he lets his anger control him. He doesn't know what this is, but he doesn't question it. He'll use it to defeat whoever killed Krillin. Unknowingly, he's transformed into a Super Saiyan. Utilizing this newfound power, on top of the power that he already possessed, Goku moves quickly. He calls for Nimbus, but for some reason he can't ride it. It's only making him even more frustrated. He charges up even more energy and begins levitating. The raw amount of power he has, he could fly. Instinctively, he heads out. seeking out anyone that he could find, that monster that killed Krillin. He finds Tambourine. With one attack, he's killed. Goku makes quick work, flying around, finding the rest of Piccolo's kids, killing them too. Nobody knows what's happening. Of course, Goku stops a lot of the attacks before they even occur. But they see some sort of golden energy flying around, and they hear all these explosions. Roshi's worried. At some point, they learn of Krillin's death. And that golden thing in the sky, it flies towards them. It's Goku. He's undergone some sort of transformation. They could barely recognize him. What the hell happened? Goku says he doesn't know either, but whoever's responsible for this, they're going to pay. All of them. Roshi tells Goku to wait, but Goku looks back at him. The stare that he gives Roshi shakes him. This isn't the Goku he knows. This is what he was worried about. This raw power, it's gonna overtake him. It's gonna go to his head, especially whatever this new transformation is. Goku's about to fly out again, but someone teleports in. Goku immediately tries to attack him. He looks like those other people that he just killed, but luckily this person's able to teleport out of the way in the nick of time. He tells Goku to just wait. He isn't who he thinks he is. It's Kami. He watched this from his lookout, and he can't just stand by. The situation is far too dire for that. If he does nothing, Goku will probably go out of control, destroying Earth. And Kami tries to explain as quickly as possible. This is King Piccolo's doing, and he explains who he is too. That's all Goku needed to know. He flies out again, locating King Piccolo, and Kami tries to teleport to wherever he is. He needs to stop Goku before things get out of hand. Goku arrives, finding King Piccolo himself. And King Piccolo's speechless. He doesn't know who this is. And more importantly, he doesn't know if this is an opponent he could face at all. Kami then teleports in, and on a whim, he tries to use his power to seal King Piccolo away. He can't let Goku kill him. If Goku kills Piccolo, then he dies too. And without Kami's guidance, Goku will surely never gain control. It leaves him exhausted, but he's successful. Kami's able to seal King Piccolo away, and Goku watches on confused. He's even more frustrated. He wanted to kill King Piccolo for what he did, but Kami tries to explain more. He's here to help Goku. He promises. This rage, it's too violent. It needs to be stopped. He's not a threat, but he can tell that Goku's power might be a threat. Goku might bring about his own destruction if he doesn't learn to contain this power. And that's what Kami's here for. Sure, he doesn't actually know what this power is, but he can at least infer that it's pretty destructive. Thankfully, Goku ends up de-transforming. He calms down a bit. He doesn't know what that power was either. And he asks Kami, if he's the creator of the Dragon Balls and King Piccolo is already collecting them, can he at least go summon Shenron? He wants to bring his friend back. And Kami is actually pretty speechless at this. Yeah, he's perfectly fine with that. Goku's completely changed his demeanor. That power definitely was controlling him. He's seeing the true Goku now. He's so much calmer. And whatever that power was, it's gone. At least temporarily. The Dragon Balls are gathered, and Shenron is summoned, reviving Krillin. King Piccolo and his sons were stopped. But now, Goku faces a new challenge. It's something that's always been present in Goku's life, but Goku never realized that it could be bad. The fact that he doesn't know his own ceiling, his potential, he doesn't know how to control his power. He has so much of it. And now he's reached a new height. They have no idea of what it is. But Kami is determined. He's gonna help Goku. This is the next step in his training. Come to the lookout. He has the perfect place for Goku to go. Goku is getting more concerned too. He doesn't know what that power was and he doesn't really want it to take over him again. But Kami tells him not to worry. He sees Goku's calm side. Goku was just acting in the moment. In a more controlled environment, while also knowing about the power, Goku should theoretically be able to have a better control in it. And Kami has the perfect place for it, the Room of Spirit and Time. Of course, it's pretty intense, but he thinks that Goku will be able to handle it. It's a secluded room, and Goku can just stay alone with his thoughts, growing stronger by training in there, and also, hopefully harnessing that power that he has. Goku's kind of nervous at first, but he enters the Room of Spirit and Time, and he's actually kind of able to handle it. Sure, it's still very strenuous, but he could actually stay in here. And he's going to keep what Kami said in mind. He's going to learn to control this power. Not just for himself, but everyone else. He doesn't want to put them at risk because he's too strong. Plus, with this power, he could protect those around him. He recognizes his immense potential. And as I mentioned, he's growing up with a much different mindset than he had in the normal story. And this is where we truly get to see it. Goku spends a year in the Room of Spirit and Time, training, growing stronger, not only physically, but mentally too. By trying to tap into the same emotions that he felt when Krillin died, he's able to access this power again. He doesn't know what it is, but he just refers to it as Super Goku because he has no other real name for it. And the power is awesome. The more he uses it, the better he learns to control it. And the more he trains with it, the stronger he grows. It's exponential. Think of it. He has Frieza's potential here. That's the whole plot of the story. Plus, he already has Super Saiyan. Plus, he's training in the Room of Spirit and Time. Intense training for a long amount of time, plus the power of a Super Saiyan, That's an equation that's definitely going to lead to a lot of power. Goku exits the Room of Spirit and Time. In this scenario too, he's going to keep his tail. Kami sees no reason to remove it because he's more so focused on controlling that other power that Goku had. Honestly, he doesn't even know if he's going to be physically strong enough to remove Goku's tail. But that's besides the point. For now, he's glad to see that Goku can control this power. Not to mention too, Goku's older. Not just in terms of his actual age, but he looks older too. He was in the Room of Spirit and Time for a year. And it seems he already went through a growth spurt, but he's still going to spend some more time training with Kami. Maybe even some more time in the Room of Spirit and Time. I said time so much within the past few seconds. Anyways, Goku continues his training. Focusing more on the mental aspects than the physical ones, now he's training more with Kami. His mentality is just as important as his physical strength. And that's mostly what they focus on. There's not too much in terms of technique that Kami could teach him. Maybe the Mafuba, but everything else, Goku's just so strong that he doesn't really need anything from Kami. Their time would be better spent on this. Fortifying his mind and spirit. Goku also learns to use this power much more effectively. At first, it was a bit draining, which is why he de-transformed the first time. It was the first time he's really felt his stamina drained at all, at least to a severe extent. But now, he can utilize this form with 100% efficiency. He's so incredibly powerful, and he doesn't even know it yet. Of course, he knows he's beyond anyone here on Earth, but he doesn't know to what extent he's beyond them. Thankfully, he has a good heart. This power's not going to be used for evil. The 23rd World Tournament happens, and of course, Goku wins with pretty much no challenge at all. There's no Piccolo there, and pretty much anyone else won't be able to face him. And now we enter a little bit of a time skip. Goku gets married to Chi-Chi, but also doesn't lose sight of his training. That experience with Krillin, he keeps it in mind. He doesn't want to lose control ever again. It serves as motivation for him to train his mind and body. But also, he wants to grow stronger in general, so yeah, of course he's going to keep training. One big change here is that once Gohan is born, he's going to be way stronger than normal. Also with way more potential than normal. He inherits some of Goku's insane latent power, plus with him being a hybrid and all, well, you can imagine that his potential is going to be basically on crack here. Once again, just like with Goku, they're in the midst of a potentially really powerful warrior without even knowing it. And soon enough, Raditz shows up, ready to retrieve Kakarot. But there's no real challenge this time. The second Raditz tries to kidnap Gohan, Gohan fights back. Rage overpowers him, and Gohan's power explodes. Raditz's scouter goes off, exploding in his face. It can't even read Gohan's power. With one single attack, Gohan headbutts Raditz, flinging him far away into the ocean as Gohan jumps up in the air, instinctively launching a blast at him. Everyone at Kame House watches on from the distance, seeing a massive mushroom cloud, with Gohan then flying back to the island. Yeah, flying. And Goku watches on just as speechless as everyone else. Oh crap, this never even crossed his mind. The same issues that he had as a kid. Gohan's gonna have them and probably even more. Also, a 4-year-old just killed a random alien from space. He's probably gonna have some issues growing up. Everyone here is gonna need therapy. Jokes aside though, Goku realizes now what he must do. He needs to give that same sort of training to Gohan. He's seen bits of Gohan's power, but never to this extent, and it worries him. He sees himself in Gohan, which is good, but also bad. But as long as they can get to the root of it before it's too late, they should be fine. But remember, Gohan's potential might even be higher than Goku's. And that's what worries him. What if he gets too strong? Too strong to the point where even Goku can't do anything about it? Well, they doubt they'll ever get to that point. Goku is so incredibly powerful too that, yeah, even Gohan might not be able to face him. But that also begs the question. They didn't even really get to get any info out of Raditz, so what's happening next? Raditz threatened them and was immediately killed. Little did they know, the Saiyans are about to arrive. Of course, this doesn't really concern anyone else. With Goku there, they're not going to face any threats. So for the next year until the Saiyans arrive, Goku's going to start training Gohan, unaware of a threat even approaching. Goku's now a little bit concerned about Gohan. If he has the same potential as him, if not more, that's going to make things really tricky going forward, especially if Gohan doesn't control his power. Thankfully, he has the perfect person to train with, Goku himself. Someone who faced a similar problem before and got over it. Now, Gohan's not going to be getting Super Saiyan anytime soon unless he goes through some traumatic event like Goku did. But his base power alone is still concerning, not for Goku but for everyone else around him. Imagine if Gohan were to lose control again like that. Do you see how he instinctively killed Raditz right there? It could definitely cause some issues. So Goku starts training with him, trying to control that anger, but more so trying to just get Gohan to become a fighter in general. Chi-Chi's actually fine with this because she's just as concerned too. If Gohan's going to be focusing on studying at all, he's going to need to get over this first. Right now, Goku and Roshi are basically teaching him the principles of fighting. First, he needs to learn to control his ki, at the very least. And then he needs to learn how to actually fight, somewhat effectively. Of course, he still is a kid, so they don't expect him to be an amazing fighter. But they still can teach him the fundamentals at the very least. Unbeknownst to Goku though, the Saiyans are going to come to Earth. Of course, they didn't hear any mention of the Dragon Balls, so that's not why they're coming. They're coming because Goku killed Raditz so easily, or at least that's what they assume. They don't know that it was actually Gohan's fault. And it wasn't even purposeful, it was just on accident. Still warranted though, at least. A year passes, Gohan is becoming much better as a fighter, and he's kinda learning to control his strength. The only bad thing is Goku and Gohan can't really train with anyone else. They just have to train with each other because they're so far beyond everyone else that training with them wouldn't be too effective. But they sense some strong powers coming towards Earth. Kami warns them of it too, and Goku's a little bit excited about this actually. Finally, some strong fighters. Well, he hopes so. Apparently, they might be related to Raditz somehow. Maybe they're more Saiyans. And that's exactly what they are. They arrive on Earth, but just before they're about to level a city, Goku and Gohan arrive. And Vegeta and Nappa are amazed. They got here so quickly. Okay, that's not really that weird. Maybe they were just nearby. But they also noticed their scouters. For a second, there was a power surge. First they detected nothing, and then the scouters started going haywire. They couldn't even get a proper reading on the power level. Goku tells them if they're going to do this, they're going to have to do it somewhere else. So Vegeta and Nappa oblige. A little bit amused that Kakarot thinks he can command them, but hey, whatever. They'll give him some choice of where he gets to die. So they asked him, what happened with Raditz? Oh, Goku actually wasn't the one to kill him, he points to Gohan. Wait, the child did? He's part Saiyan, so yeah, that probably explains it. He's a hybrid Saiyan. He must be really strong. But it's way more than Vegeta or Nappa could ever imagine. Hybrid Saiyan or not, the fact that he killed Raditz pretty much effortlessly and on accident, that may be cause for concern. And he doesn't have that power under control, it seems. Nope, Goku says he actually does have it under control now. They spent the past year training. They didn't actually know the two Saiyans would come here, but this is the perfect time to test out their strength. And Goku's really curious to see how strong these two are. He tells them, fight him right now, hold nothing back. He wants to see all the power that they've got. They ask him if he's really sure, and Goku nods. Well, he asked for it. Don't say they didn't warn him. The two of them power up to their fullest, and Goku's a bit confused. Is that all they have? They're not holding back, are they? And Vegeta's a bit angry at this. Is he mocking them? No, Goku actually did expect more power, but Vegeta tells him, this is strong. This is the strength of an elite warrior. Nappa is strong, but not on the level of Vegeta. Although the fact that Kakarot's even underwhelmed by Nappa is still pretty interesting. He's a low-class Saiyan, he should be way below the two of them. The two are frustrated and immediately launch towards Goku. And Goku fights with no effort at all. He doesn't even power up. Actually, he tries fighting with one hand, and he's able to do it. And then one finger. How much power does Kakarot have in reserve? This can't be some sort of trick, can it? And that's why Goku's disappointed. He expected more out of them. And they're confused. Is Kakarot a Super Saiyan or something? Wait, a Super Saiyan? What's that? No, there's no way he could be a Super Saiyan. He's too stupid to even know what it is. But then Goku feels like he knows what he's talking about. Wait, a Super Saiyan? Is that a transformation or something? Vegeta and Nappa don't know how to react to this. They thought it was just a state of being, but maybe it's a transformation. They don't know for sure. Okay, Goku actually has something to ask them. He transformed as a Super Saiyan. He still doesn't know what this is and asks them, is this what a Super Saiyan is? He's had it for a while and he never actually knew what to call it. He just called it Super Goku. Vegeta and Nappa are speechless, completely stunned. There's no doubt about it. That has to be a Super Saiyan. Like, what else could that be? And that explains why Kakarot's so strong. Well, not fully, because he was still strong in base. But they don't know. They attribute that to the Super Saiyan part of him. But why is Gohan so strong then? Does he have Super Saiyan? Goku powers back down. No, he's just a normal kid. Well, as normal as a half-alien kid could be. And Vegeta theorizes, maybe because he's the son of a Super Saiyan. But Goku says he didn't always have Super Saiyan. Yeah, he's had it for a while, but he never had it at birth. Vegeta and Nappa are completely confused, but they want to learn more about this, and more importantly, they want to use this power. Hopefully it'll be used to defeat Frieza. And Goku tells him too, his power can go higher, not just in base, but in Super Saiyan. He was still a little bit suppressed, he just wanted to show them to ask the question. But Frieza, he's never heard that name before. He asked them who that is, and Vegeta and Nappa begin explaining. That's why they came here in the first place. Oh well, it's a shame that Raditz died, but Goku thinks he kind of deserves it because he did try to kidnap Gohan. So what Gohan did was kind of warranted even if it was on accident. And Goku's not too fond of these two either. How should he know that he could trust them? Well, they say Frieza poses no immediate threat to Earth, but he's still out there somewhere, and if Goku wants a good fight, which is what he keeps saying, Frieza might be the perfect opponent. They wanted him to fight Frieza in the first place. And Goku's curious, is Frieza really that strong? Vegeta says he has no clue of what Frieza's strength is. But hey, best case scenario, they get to kill Frieza using Goku's power. And Goku might be able to get a good fight out of it. They're not too sure and they can't promise anything, but they tell Goku. At worst, he'd be doing the universe a big favor if he truly is stronger than Frieza, but at best, he gets a good fight out of it. Although there is the risk that Frieza's too strong for him. They don't know where his power can go to. But that same idea applies to Goku. They don't know how high his power goes either. So they ask Goku, show his full power. Alright, Goku obliges. He transforms into a Super Saiyan, powering up to his max. They tell him to do it slowly because if he powers up too quickly, their scouters are probably going to overload. And they watch as the numbers slowly rise, quickly going out of the thousands into the 100,000 range, and then into the millions. And as Goku continues powering up, suddenly the scouters explode. There's no way. His power, it's in the millions, probably even above that. Oh cool, Goku didn't know there was a way to quantify strength like that with a power. And he asks, is that good? Well, yeah, in comparison to them, that's huge. They tell him for reference, Raditz was decently strong, at least compared to everyone here on Earth, and he wasn't even at 2,000 in terms of power. This gives Goku some idea of where he is, at least in comparison to the rest of the humans. They're probably in the couple hundreds, while he's in the couple millions, or maybe tens of millions, or maybe hundreds of millions, he doesn't even know, because they don't have any scouters anymore. But this also did send a signal to Frieza. With this huge power surging somewhere random in the universe, of course Frieza's army would pick up on it. It was so strong that it would be weird if they didn't pick up on it. Frieza's immediately alerted, and wonders, what could this possibly be? Apparently this is an area where Vegeta and Nappa are right now because the signals did come from their scouters too, but also the power reached Frieza's base. It was so strong that it traveled all the way across the universe. And Frieza has no other choice. He's gonna mobilize his troops, going to Earth. He wants to see what this power is, those readings that they got on all their scouters. Apparently the last reading on Vegeta and Nappa scouters were in the tens of millions. And Frieza wants to see if that's true because if so, this could be someone that matches his strength. Which he kinda doubts, maybe it's a fluke. But hey, he'll also figure out what Vegeta and Nappa are up to because they went here for some reason and he doesn't know why. In the meantime, Vegeta and Nappa remain on Earth, trying to learn more about Super Saiyan and just Kakarot in general. Why is he so freakishly strong? Because even in base he was like this, and Goku says even before he got Super Saiyan, his strength was off the charts. They have no idea what this is. Super Saiyan doesn't seem to be something that's genetic. It might just be a transformation akin to something like Great Ape, because Goku did have Great Ape as well. Which doesn't really mean much, but it just tells them. The power might not be attributed to this transformation. And Goku also learns that his tail was the key to Great Ape. Interesting, he'll keep that in mind. He kinda knew before when his tail was removed that first time, and eventually regrew back. But who knows, maybe in the future he'll revisit Great Ape for some reason. With this training, Vegeta and Nappa don't really get to learn much. It's not like they just learned Super Saiyan that quickly. The whole point is Goku's potential is so huge that he was able to access it in that moment of rage, while also being freakishly strong beforehand. And again, Goku's not really too fond of these guys and doesn't really care too much about Frieza either, so he's not just gonna leave Earth and fight Frieza. But he's fine trying to teach them whatever this is because he doesn't think that they can defeat him somehow. So if he taught them this power, which might not even be possible, Goku would still probably be ahead of them in terms of strength. But thankfully for Vegeta and Nappa, they're not gonna have to drag Goku to fight Frieza because Frieza's coming to them. Goku senses one day there's a very strong power heading towards Earth. Vegeta and Nappa are confused. Oh yeah, they forgot he could sense stuff without scouters. That must be Frieza, there's no other way around it. From what Goku's saying, it's malicious power, and it's strong, but not as strong as him. That gives them hope. That definitely means it's Frieza approaching, and it means that Goku might be enough to defeat him. And Frieza's also bringing an army with him. Well, Vegeta and Nappa say that's no issue. They'll take care of the army, and tell Goku to only focus on Frieza. He can't draw his attention away from the Emperor. Vegeta and Nappa become Earth's first line of defense. And they're not doing it to protect Earth, more so to just have fun, killing all of Frieza's army. And as the army descends on Earth, thankfully they draw this army to a wasteland, as Vegeta and Nappa begin fighting them, going all out, glad to just be using the army as punching bags basically. And meanwhile, Frieza goes up to Goku himself, also seeing Gohan. Interesting, there was another Saiyan that he didn't know about and apparently he has a brat. He chuckles. So this is why Vegeta and Nappa came here. They thought they were going to recruit another Saiyan to help defeat his army. Well, his soldiers might be weaklings, and that explains why Vegeta and Nappa are able to defeat them. But even with Goku's help, there's no way they would have defeated Frieza. Did they really think this would work? And Goku says he only learned of Frieza a few weeks ago, not even. He doesn't care about him or whatever, but he heard that he might be strong, and might lead to a good fight. These apes, they're so primitive, only thinking about fighting and such. And Goku tells Frieza he's been looking for an opponent like this, and he tells Frieza to hold nothing back. Is he being mocked right now? Hold nothing back. If he didn't hold back, everything here would be destroyed. And Goku tells him he's confident he can take on Frieza at whatever his full power is. Really though, he really wants to test that out. Well, okay, Frieza powers up, going to his 100% power. And Goku's actually pretty elated. Still though, this isn't as strong as he expected. Vegeta and Nappa promised a great fight. And maybe this is the closest he can get to that. Goku starts fighting Frieza pretty effortlessly in fact. But as Frieza's getting more and more serious, Goku's getting hyped up too. He's still only in base, not even using Super Saiyan, but he's actually having to try against Frieza, something he's never done before. And he wonders, maybe Gohan could fight him. What, is he serious? That brat, that child? He thinks that he could fight Frieza? Frieza's really pissed off now. Even more so at the fact that he can't even kill Goku. Nothing that he tries is working. And he could tell, this ape might actually be a problem. Goku even hinted at something during the fight, the fact that he has another transformation. Wait a second, could he be a Super Saiyan? He doesn't want to test out the theory. So instead, Frieza's gonna end this quickly. He goes up into the sky and begins charging an attack. Goku waits there, hoping that Frieza's gonna aim something powerful at him. But as Frieza charges the attack, he changes direction. He aims a full-powered blast down towards Earth, ready to blow it up and just end this on the spot. But before this blast could even hit Earth, Goku's about to jump in front of it, but someone else is faster and gets in front of Goku. It's Gohan. And for a brief second, Gohan powers up. In defense of Earth, he tries to knock the blast back, and something strange happens. His hair, it turns golden, his ki flares up, and Goku looks on amazed. He did it already? For a brief second, Gohan went into Super Saiyan, launching a massive blast that not only destroys Frieza's attack, but also launches right towards Frieza, killing him. And just as quickly as the transformation appeared, it disappears. Gohan powers back down into base. Goku's impressed, and he's pretty proud of his son, but also at the same time he's concerned. This is just like Raditz. It's kind of funny when you think about it like that, but not as funny when you consider the fact that he's a Super Saiyan and can possibly destroy everything if you lose control like that again. And Goku's also kind of bummed. He expected more of a fight out of Frieza. His base form was enough to match his 100% strength, and if he went Super Saiyan, it would have been incredibly easy. But was that the strongest person in the universe that Vegeta and Nappa were talking about? And it lets Goku recognize a few things. For one, he needs to work with Gohan more. But also, Goku might actually be the strongest thing in the universe. At least in terms of the people that they know of. If that was the strongest possible opponent he could face, how is he supposed to train? How is he supposed to get stronger if he has no one else to motivate him to get stronger? Like, he could just keep growing in strength, but how will he utilize that strength if no one could fight him? Will he ever truly be able to have fun in a fight? After that display of power from Gohan and Goku, of course, Vegeta and Nappa are flabbergasted. It's odd because first they were coming here with the intent of killing Goku, and now they realize that's completely impossible. They just wiped out Frieza with pretty much no effort at all, and it wasn't even Goku that did it, it was Gohan. It was an accident actually when you look at it, and that absolutely freaks Vegeta and Nappa out. These two aren't just Super Saiyans, they're something else, and it's concerning. But Vegeta and Nappa still do want to learn about Super Saiyan. The fact that Gohan got it means that it's not just Goku that's one of them. Of course, maybe Super Saiyan is something that's genetic and that's why Gohan has it, because he is Goku's son. But that also leaves the possibility of Super Saiyan being inherent to all Saiyans actually. And there's only one way to find out if that's true. Train for it. Try and figure out the secret to unlocking Super Saiyan. Of course, Goku and Gohan are completely different from any other Saiyans that they've seen before. But they could look at the scenarios that cause them to transform. Intense anger, just intense emotion in general. That seems to be the key. And they've decided they're going to stay here on Earth. Of course, the group doesn't trust them at all. But ultimately, it's up to Goku to decide what to do with them. The humans can't defeat these two Saiyans. So even if they wanted to, they're powerless against them. But Goku definitely can. And that reassures them. If Vegeta and Nappa do act up somehow, Goku and even Gohan could definitely defeat them. And if Goku says it's okay for them to be here, then they're fine with it. Goku definitely will keep them in check too. Vegeta and Nappa can't really do anything. Just as the humans are aware of Goku's power against them, Vegeta and Nappa know that they shouldn't act out against Goku. But more importantly, he's focused on controlling Gohan's power, and he knows exactly where to take it, a place where he was before. The Room of Spirit and Time. There is a bit of an issue with this. Goku's been in the Room of Spirit and Time for over a year by now, at least before when he was training with Kami. He only really has a few months of time left in there, at least until Kami upgrades it if that's possible. But luckily for him, he doesn't really need much more time. Even if he and Gohan are only in there half a year, it should be more than enough. Exactly the amount of time they need. It'll allow Goku to get stronger, and it'll help him control Gohan's power too. Most importantly, he's going to help Gohan get a grasp on Super Saiyan, something that he initially had issues with. But now that he knows more about it and the fact that he went through this exact thing himself, it should be a lot easier. Unlike Goku, Gohan's not going to be going through this alone. He has help. And it's not just help from some outside force like Kami, it's someone who went through the exact same thing he had. The two of them spent some time in there. And it's imperative that they do this because if they don't, Gohan can explode with anger at any time. Of course, this training does help Goku a lot, getting a lot stronger as he tries to ascend Super Saiyan somehow. He's already practiced enough with it and he wants to see if he can go beyond it. But of course, his focus isn't only on that. A lot of time is spent controlling Gohan's power, not only improving him as a fighter, but improving his access to Super Saiyan. First, Goku teaches him to access it at will, and this significantly helps with him controlling it. Now it's not just going to happen with random outbursts of anger. It happens when Gohan wants to summon that power. And with Gohan being able to use this power at will, he can train with Goku as long as he wants. With both of their insane growths, Gohan encounters strides in power that Goku had too. He's eventually able to master Super Saiyan pretty quickly, which this isn't really that outlandish, especially considering the scenario here. Like in the main story, 1 year in the Room of Spirit and Time was enough for Gohan to not only get Super Saiyan, but master it too. And in this scenario, he has more potential and he already had Super Saiyan to begin with. This is probably one of the most tame things so far in the series. But that also begs the question, with how great both of their potentials are, I feel like it's safe to say that they're not just going to master Super Saiyan here. Well, Goku already has, but with him aiming to go above it, and with Gohan mastering it so quickly, I think it is definitely within the realm of possibility that they discover a power beyond Super Saiyan. Beyond grade 4 of normal Super Saiyan, Goku gets something new. An evolution in power that he didn't know existed, but he suspected it existed. Now he has that confirmation. This is what he'll call Super Saiyan 2. A significant increase in power from regular Super Saiyan, but not a significant change in how he looks. But there's also another thing at the back of Goku's mind, something that he's not really going to address now, but he's been kind of concerned about for a while. Gohan has a tail still, just like Goku. Of course, Goku hasn't had to worry about Grade Ape in so long. They simply just stay out of the moonlight, but they feel like at this point, they can't just live like that. They either have to get rid of their tails or find some way to master Grade Ape. Yeah, it might be a step back in terms of power, but think about it. Imagine if an accident were to happen where somehow they were exposed to moonlight. Who would be able to stop either of them? If one of them turns to a Grade Ape in a blind rampage, that'll be the end of them, their friends, and probably Earth as a whole. But like I said, Goku's not going to address that just yet. He's only kind of concerned about it right now, and he'd rather just keep that in the back of his mind. So, besides Goku and Gohan, what else is happening? Well, Vegeta still ends up with Bulma. I mean, come on, how could I not do that? And as for Nappa, he's just there. We don't need to set everyone up with someone. Nappa's fine with being a bachelor, just like Yamcha. The two of them probably bond over this too. But more importantly, Vegeta and Nappa are focused on getting Super Saiyan. So they are doing their normal training, but on top of that, they're trying to learn as much as they can from Goku, who just now learned a new evolution of Super Saiyan. Great, they're incredibly far behind. So they know it comes from intense emotions, but Goku also describes how it feels to transform. And yeah, maybe if these guys were Universe 6 Saiyans that were just gifted a bunch of S cells, this would work for them, but no, they don't have that luxury. And even if we did go with the S cells explanation, they wouldn't really qualify for that. But that's besides the point. They do have one idea though, the Room of Spirit and Time. Just like Goku and Gohan did, they decide to enter in there. And it's not like Super Saiyan's gonna come easily to them. But with how intense the Room of Spirit and Time is, especially the deeper they go into it, it helps them with their training. And every day, they try and make a little bit more progress, trying to go deeper into the Room of Spirit and Time, basically torturing themselves. And at some point, out of necessity, right when they're due to exit, the two of them are finally able to unlock Super Saiyan, but they don't have a control in it. It was out of necessity, but now they know what it feels like, and they know they could probably tap into it again. They don't need to train in here forever, they can train back on the outside. It's a huge development, and the two exit, now proud to be Super Saiyans. Meanwhile, Raditz is in hell, basically just missing out on everything and screaming. No one thinks to revive him, there's no reason to. And everyone's a Super Saiyan besides him. He continues molding, but nobody cares. And yeah, everyone training is great and all, but there's still other developments going on. I mean, the villains aren't just going to be sitting there doing nothing. Jiro, for example, he's still working on something. His project is going to be very different this time though. He doesn't even work on the other androids. Instead, he focuses on Cell specifically, trying to speed him up. Cell is going to be so strong that he decides it's best to focus all his efforts on him. 17, 18, they don't even become a thing. It's too much effort to kidnap people and turn them into cyborgs against their will. Why not just work on this guy? Jiro is going to speed up the process of Cell's development. Although there is one drawback. He doesn't know if Cell could truly attain perfection. Cell was born imperfect to begin with, but at least in the main story he had the other two androids to rely on. Here, Cell's full potential is never realized because Gero never bothers to perfect him. Cell is basically a framework of what he should be. And at some point, he is awoken, much earlier than normal, although he resents his creator. He realizes he could have been so much more. He could have been truly perfect. Sure, he's incredibly powerful as is, but now he has to go on this journey himself to become perfect, try and figure out a way to find perfection somehow, and he has no idea of where to start. And Gero thinks that Cell's gonna be under his control, but with the amount of power Cell has, and the resentment he holds towards Gero, that's not happening. Gero is immediately killed, and Cell is now ready to terrorize the world. Think about how strong he'd be here. He has all of Goku and Frieza's potential, not to mention everyone else on Earth basically. But this still isn't enough for him, because he knows he could have been much more than this. But he knows one thing certain, even if he's not perfect yet, he's gonna pursue Goku. Maybe if he steals power right from the source of the strongest person he could think of, that could help him achieve perfection. Him, Gohan. Hell, even though they're weaker, Vegeta and Nappa too, he could steal some from them. They'll make great snacks at worst. But at best, it could lead him down towards the path to perfection. At first, he starts by attacking a random city, absorbing all the people there. Sure, they make for nice treats, but they don't really add too much to his power. He continues on this feeding frenzy. And he does see a marginal increase in strength, but it's not really enough. This is mainly just to satiate his appetite. But also it does serve another purpose, drawing out Goku and Gohan, having them directly come to him instead. I mean, it's the perfect plan, and it's less work for him. It's a win-win because he doesn't have to seek out Goku, which wouldn't really be too hard in the first place, and he gets some snacks in the meantime. Of course, at some point though, Goku's gonna sense Cell's power. If not that, he's gonna hear about these cities just randomly having people disappearing, and he's gonna wanna check it out. Oh yeah, little side note, no heart virus here. I'm not gonna do that. Like I said at the beginning of the scenario, it's gonna be a bit outlandish to begin with, so I'm gonna have fun with it. And what won't be fun is trying to figure out a way to work around this and include another timeline. So yeah, full disclosure, I'm simply just gonna choose to ignore it here. Anyways, Goku and Cell stare each other down. Cell's elated, but Goku has no idea of who this guy is. He's a bit concerned though. His energy feels strange, almost familiar in a way. And he wonders why Cell is so happy to see him. Cell explains who he is and why he's here. And Goku can see now, the reason Cell's energy feels like that, the reason he's as strong as he is, could he actually be as powerful as he seems? If he's genetically engineered to be stronger and kill Goku, and the fact that he does have Goku's DNA in general, that means he could potentially be a challenge for Goku. On one hand, Goku is excited at this prospect. He's always wanted to fight someone strong like this, someone that would actually be a challenge to him, but on the other hand, he thinks about it. Goku recognizes his power, his immense potential, and he realizes, if Cell is actually as strong as he seems, will he actually stand a chance against him? And beyond that, if he loses, who would be able to stop Cell? It seems like there's no way around this. There's only one thing to do now, an all-out battle between Goku and Cell. This will be Goku's first real challenge, and not like Frieza, it's an actual challenge. Cell powers up, and in response, Goku goes into Super Saiyan 2 right away. He's not holding anything back. If Cell truly is as strong as he claims, he'll be able to handle this. And the two launch in towards each other. Goku feels an exhilarating battle spirit flare up within him. It's the first time he's been able to use Super Saiyan 2 in a fight, actually any transformation in general. He's used these forms before, but he's had to use them against Gohan as a training partner. Any other time he's used them, well, it was basically just to show off against someone like Vegeta. He's never actually successfully used them in combat for fun because it just ends everything in one shot. Here, he could actually fight. He could display this power at its full potential, actually use it what it was meant for, battle. And Goku also notices Cell might actually be a little bit ahead of him, but Goku is more so amazed by the fact that he can actually utilize his power for once. But he can't let that distract him. Of course, it's a huge development, but at the same time he has to consider what's happening here. Thankfully, Goku's not alone. He senses another power surging nearby. Gohan flies in. He sensed all this going on, wanted to check out who Goku was fighting. The fact that he was using Super Saiyan 2 was concerning, because who the hell could he be using it against? And Gohan sees his father's having the actual challenge. For once, they're gonna get to fight together at their full strength. And Goku looks to Gohan, asking if he's ready. And Gohan smiles, saying that he's been waiting for this, being able to use his power and fighting alongside his father. It's part of what they've been training towards for so long. It's a pivotal moment in both of their lives as fighters. And now, the real battle begins. Cell shows off more of his strength, but now that the two of them are facing him, he actually might have a challenge here. Of course, Cell's potential is immense, and as he fights, his growth is apparent. He would probably grow so quickly that even in the battle it's noticeable. And that lets Goku and Gohan realize they need to finish this as quick as they can. If they don't, Cell might grow too strong. And there's also another thing. Cell tries to absorb them, taking their power. If even one of them gets stabbed for just a little bit of time, Cell will take enough energy to become so strong that they won't be able to defeat him. And Goku turns to Gohan. So before, they did train for Gohan to get Super Saiyan, but he was never able to help Gohan access Super Saiyan 2. And he tells Gohan, this is the opportunity. Use this as the catalyst. If he could turn into a Super Saiyan 2 right now, Cell will not be able to stop them, and together, they'll defeat this monster, winning the battle, having fun, and protecting Earth and their friends. Gohan realizes this, the responsibility to win here. And thankfully for the two of them, they are feeling intense emotion during this battle. Remember what I said, it's the first time they actually get to have a real fight like this. And the first time they're facing a real threat, a real challenge. It's basically unheard of for them. The two of them start losing ground. Cell begins getting ahead. There's no way they'll stop him. He'll become the perfect being. He'll steal their power and destroy everything here, becoming the strongest thing in the universe, completely unstoppable. But as he continues taunting them, Gohan's rage flares up. His determination to stop Cell. His determination to win. His Saiyan blood is pumping, and he needs to access this power. With an explosion of ki, he transforms, and Goku immediately recognizes this as Super Saiyan 2. And for a brief second, he's elated, but it tells Gohan, in case the power is fleeting, now's the time to strike. Don't focus on the fact that he unlocked it. Instead, immediately use it. Channel that energy into a final attack. Gohan rushes into Cell, grabbing his tail, swinging him around and flinging him towards Goku. Cell's able to stop himself midair. But Goku didn't just sit there. He rushed towards Cell as well, kicking him right back towards Gohan. Gohan delivers an uppercut, sending Cell flying into the sky. Good, now he's away from the surface. The two of them stand together side by side. Mid-air, they each charge a Kamehameha. Cell looks down from above. Quickly, he charges his own, launching it right down at Earth and at Goku and Gohan. If they don't overpower it, not only will they die, but Earth will be destroyed. More of a reason for them to win. With all their strength, they launch their beams. The father-son Kamehameha overpowers Cell's. Cell tries even more power, but there's nothing left. He curses Gero. This could have been avoided. He could have won. Had Gero not been so hasty, noticing Goku's immense growth, he could have just taken his time and actually made Cell perfect. But no, he slipped up here, and Cell paid the price. That's the last thought going through his head as he gets erased by the father-son Kamehameha. Goku and Gohan power down, breathing heavily. That was their first challenge, and they won. They smile and start laughing together. So, Goku defeated his greatest challenge yet, with the help of Gohan, of course. A fighter genetically engineered to kill him, someone that was designed to be just as strong as Goku and have the same crazy potential as him. So, who could possibly face him now? Of course, he's delighted. He finally got that all-out battle that he wanted. He finally got to test his powers against someone who is his equal, or at least above him. Maybe he jumped the gun when he thought that there was no one to actually challenge him. There could be people out there that he doesn't know of yet. And he welcomes the challenge. He knows that someday he might encounter someone else strong. And at the same time, Earth will be safe. He'll use his power to defend his friends. He has a newfound motivation. There could be great fights waiting, and great threats lurking about that need to be fought against. And now, we enter somewhat of a time skip. That same 7-year time skip that we saw normally. Although, of course, there's a bunch of differences here. One thing worth noting is Goten is born. And just like Gohan, Goku is immediately concerned about how he's going to act. The thing is, he got Gohan under control, so even though Goten's going to be incredibly powerful and have insane latent potential, it's proven that he's been able to control it, not just with himself, but Gohan too. So he's kind of worried at first with Goten, but then he's comforted by this knowledge. And there is another issue with Goten. He is also born with a tail. We haven't really talked about it much, but I did briefly mention in the last part. Goku still does have his tail. So does Gohan. And yeah, I know, at a certain point, Saiyans aren't born with tails just because they're so strong that they don't need them. But here, we're giving them a tail for a reason. This tail on Goten serves as a reminder to Goku. Oh yeah, he remembers from before. He wanted to see if he can control Great Ape somehow, because he still is concerned about him and Gohan. But also Goten too. Goku always kind of brushes to the side because they just ignored the moon and tried to not look at it. Which isn't really a great way to live. They could cut off the tail, but at the same time, Goku realized that there could be something there. He could use it to achieve some sort of new power, so that's why he saved it, but he just kind of forgot about it, focusing on Super Saiyan 2 and trying to go beyond that. But maybe that's the key. Getting control over the Great Ape form. That way, they won't have to worry about turning into Great Apes anymore. Not to mention, maybe they can unlock a new sort of power from that. And it's kind of a necessity now because there's 3 Great Apes to worry about. Not just himself, but Gohan and Goten. If either of them transforms, it's probably game over for Earth. Unless they're quick enough to stop a Great Ape, which is still possible, there is the risk that one of them transforms, goes berserk, and blows everything up. Not the best outcome, so they're going to want to avoid that. Instead of completely just removing the tail, they're going to practice with the power that comes from it. Learn from it. Also, over this time period, both Goku and Gohan are still training. With the immense potential that he was gifted, Gohan is still motivated, also with the fact that Goku's still around, unlike in the main story where he died. So Goku's definitely going to be a good influence in terms of training. Both of them are training together. They are the best training partners for each other after all, growing a lot stronger over time as Gohan grows up. And something interesting is about to happen, a tournament. You know, it could be fun to enter. Of course, Goku knows that he's likely going to be the finalist there, as is Gohan. But hey, for old time's sake, why not enter the tournament? Also, Chi-Chi would probably want this because it's an easy way for them to earn money. They already know that by default, either Goku or Gohan's gonna win. But also there's another thing here. The two of them could fight each other all out. There's a motivation here to do so. Of course, they could do this anytime, but in a different setting like this, it could be really fun. And Videl also does kind of pressure Gohan into it. The Saiyan stuff still happens, by the way. So the two go on and do this just for fun, but also because they're being encouraged to. Seems like they have no other choice. They need to do this. And they're looking forward to it. But there's also one other development that I want to cover, and that's Vegeta and Nappa. Of course, they unlocked Super Saiyan last time, and they've been growing a lot stronger ever since. They know that they're never going to reach the level of Kakarot, something that they didn't really expect to happen. But in a weird twist of fate, they're actually kind of following Goku. Definitely by now they would have assimilated. And the two find a rivalry within each other. Of course, they are still amazed by Goku's power and do want to achieve that same level one day, but they don't think it's going to be possible. It seems he was just born a mutant or something. But the two have each other. By this point, they're around the same strength, although Vegeta is ahead of Nappa, but it's to the point where they could actually fight each other, going all out in their battles, growing stronger together. Their camaraderie flourishes. And now, instead of an expendable soldier, Vegeta actually views Nappa as a worthy rival. A weird turn of events. And the two live on Earth pretty peacefully. They're definitely going to be entering the tournament too. So, at the start of the tournament, not much of note happens. Of course, Piccolo's not going to be here. And any of the human fighters on the Dragon Team will of course be any of the normal humans there. But then we see the fight between Videl and Spopovich. And for a brief moment, Gohan's anger flares up. And this is really bad. Goku already knows how Gohan could lose control. They have tamed it, but still, he is concerned. Seeing something like this could be disastrous. But luckily, before things get too bad, it stopped. And it lets Shin and Kibito see Gohan's power, as well as Spopovich and Yamu. Once Kibito's up to fight Gohan, they make a pretty grave mistake here. They're still going with their normal plan, trying to get Gohan's energy to be absorbed so they could follow Spopovich and Yamu and find Babidi's ship. So, Kibito coaxes Gohan into powering up, which he does. Spopovich is able to attack, and just as quickly as he attacks, he escapes. He and Yamu are amazed, the amount of energy that they gathered. No, this can't be right. They barely just stabbed Gohan. But in that very short time frame, it looks like they gotten more than enough energy for Boo. They fly over with immense speed back towards Babidi's ship, and he's elated. Exactly what he wanted. Actually, more than what he expected too. Of course, the group is caught up with Kibito and Shin, learning about their plan and such, as well as who they are and why they're here. But by the time they start heading over to Babidi's ship, it's already far too late. They sense an ominous energy. And Shin and Kibito realize the massive flaw in their plan. They didn't realize how strong Goku and Gohan were. Hell, even Goten too. Even though they thought they were only giving them a little bit of energy, it turns out they were giving them way more than they expected. When Kibito saw Gohan's power, he was a little bit worried about this because Gohan's power was insane. And this just confirms that. Great. They screwed it up. They basically caused Boo's revival. There's no other explanation for it. That ominous energy that they sense, it's gotta be Boo. In the distance, they see a massive explosion of steam, rushing over towards the ship. By the time they arrive, they see a massive crater in the ground, and they watch as Deborah is turned into a cookie, eaten by Boo. The only two people still standing there are Babidi and Boo himself. And Babidi looks up at them, greeting them. The Supreme Kai. What a nice surprise. He thanks them all for their energy. Without their help, Boo would have taken a lot longer to revive. But thanks to whatever stunt those Kais pulled, now they have more than enough. Boo is here, finally awoken once again. Shin and Kibito are incredibly concerned, but the group isn't really too concerned. These two were saying that Boo was a really strong guy, and he definitely is, the group could tell. But they're also not concerning the fact of how strong Goku and Gohan are. Remember, this scenario is based around the fact that they have Frieza's potential here. They have been constantly training for years on end. And besides the fact that Gohan actually has more potential than Goku, even just a little bit of training alone with that potential would be more than enough. Both of them are actually pretty confident. Boo shouldn't be too hard to defeat. Hell, they could probably even do it in their base form. Babidi says that's a lot of tough talk from them. There's no way they'll be able to defeat Majin Buu. Shin and Kibito think the same. Yeah, they might be strong, but are they really Boo's level? Well, Gohan tells them to consider. Look how much energy they needed from Gohan just to revive Buu. It wasn't very much. That was a fraction of Gohan's power. And they're making it seem like it was a lot of energy. And Gohan's point actually does make a lot of sense. Yeah, they didn't think about it like that. Same for Babidi too. That might be right. If he had that much energy in his store, he might actually be able to face Buu. Vegeta and Nappa step in too. They say not to underestimate Kakarot and his son. Besides the fact that they're strong Saiyan warriors, they're also much more than that. They're some sort of crazy mutants. No offense to them, but that's what they are. Their potential is far beyond the scope of even what this monster is. And there's no way that Buu will defeat them. And Goku decides he can handle this alone, only needing his base form too. He and Buu begin fighting, and of course, Goku is actually able to take him on. It's a bit fun at first, but Goku realizes he's holding back a lot. He wants to showcase more strength, and also, he does kind of want to make this quick because they need to get back to the tournament. He wants to fight Gohan there as a finalist. He powers up into Super Saiyan. This is really overkill here, and with a single attack, he completely eradicates Buu. Babidi looks on with his jaw dropped. But before he could do anything, a blast from Gohan hits him, eradicating the wizard as well. Great, that's it. Buu's dealt with. The group's about to head back, but something strange begins happening. Buu regenerates. Oh crap, this is like a cell type thing. It doesn't matter. Goku will just use a little bit more power. And he'll make sure this time that Buu is completely eradicated. As soon as he regenerates though, something strange happens. Buu looks pissed, way angrier than he was before. And he creates another Buu. Wait, what? This actually makes everyone hesitate for a second because they're wondering what the hell's going on here. And this hesitation leaves a brief opening for evil Buu. He knows he needs to act quick. And as soon as he's created, he turns good Buu into a cookie, eating him and absorbing his power. And the group is distracted by this, just watching on confused. And just like that, Super Buu is born. Oh crap, he's already changed that quickly. No need to worry. Even with this change, he's still not strong enough to defeat anyone. Hell, Goku in Super Saiyan is still way more than overkill here. As he goes up to Buu to attack, Buu then dematerializes, turning into goo on the ground and splitting himself up into small pieces. It seems like he completely disappeared, turning into a bunch of little cells. His target isn't Goku or Gohan. Instead, he has other people in mind. Vegeta and Nappa shout. Goku turns around, but it's already too late. A large wave of pink sludge surrounds them, as Vegeta and Nappa are absorbed by Buu, now being assimilated within him. Okay, this still isn't that bad. Goku or Gohan can still defeat him. But now there's another issue, and Buu tells them, if they try to kill him, they're gonna end up killing Vegeta and Nappa inside of him as well. If they want to fight him, they're gonna have to find a different way. Buu's quick actions here allowed him to turn the tide of the battle. At first, he would have been easy to defeat. But Goku didn't realize how strong his regeneration was. If he did, the battle would have been over already. But because of this, it gave Buu a little bit of an opening. And with the perfect chain of events, he's able to make a comeback. Now, Goku is staring down at Vegeta, a version of Super Buu with Vegeta and Nappa absorbed. And Buu begins contemplating his next target. It's gonna be kinda hard to absorb Goku or Gohan, but everyone else is so weak in comparison to him. Maybe next he can go for the Supreme Kai. He lunges towards him, but Gohan's able to act quick enough to protect the Kais. But as soon as he does this, Buu lunges a piece of himself off towards Goten. Goten followed him here expecting to have some sort of experience that he could use. Remember how powerful he is too. But now he acts as a target for Buu. And probably one of the most high value ones. He's incredibly powerful and has that insane potential that Goku and Gohan have. But he's less experienced as the fighter, meaning there's a perfect opening to absorb him. And with this distraction of him trying to attack the Kais, Buu is now attacking Goten. He materializes in front of Goten quickly, trying to utilize magic to try and paralyze him. But Goku's able to react quick enough, protecting Goten and getting in the way. And this leaves Goku paralyzed. Buu's smile morphs into a wicked grin. Wait a second. There's a brief moment here that he could take advantage of. Goku's about to break free of the paralysis, but notices something wrap around his leg, and then his arm. Within a split second, pieces of Buu begin surrounding Goku, absorbing him as quickly as possible so Buu could take advantage of this moment. Gohan tries to rush in once more, but it's already too late. A massive surge of power occurs. Once again, taking advantage of them hesitating, Buu is now able to make another unexpected absorption. He could have absorbed Goten, and it would have worked pretty easily. But he saw another opportunity, absorbing Goku. This was his only path to victory, working as quickly as possible to try and absorb everybody. And now, all of that amazing power is his. Of course, Gohan and Goten are still there, two of the strongest fighters here. But this threat got really bad really quickly. Not only is there an issue of their friends being inside of Buu, but now there's the issue of Buu actually being strong enough to contend with them. Vegeta, Nappa, and Goku being in there is one thing. They could probably find a way to get them out of Buu and kill Buu that way. But the issue here now is how strong he is. With Goku's strength, who knows how powerful Buu is. Alright, they've messed up enough here by hesitating, so instead of hesitating, Gohan does the first thing that comes to his mind. He grabs onto Goten, Shin, and Kibito, and tries to fly them out of there as quick as he can. And while they're flying midair, Shin utilizes the Kai Kai to teleport them to the farthest place he could think of. The sacred world of Kais. Oh crap, what are they supposed to do now? Well, at least this gives them time to plan. This was a good move here. But what will their next move be? Now, GOKU is born. And with his amazing potential and power, he's about to wreak havoc not just on the world, but the universe as a whole. How will he be stopped? So now in the sacred world of Kais, everyone's trying to figure out what to do. Especially Goten, because he's still just a kid. Even though he is powerful, you gotta remember, Goten is still just a child. He's not gonna really know what to do here. Gohan, Shin, and Kibito start to think. Gohan does have one idea. Maybe if they spend a little bit of time in the Room of Spirit and Time, that could really help them. He explains to Shin and Kibito what he's talking about. And it could probably work, considering how fast both of them can grow. Hell, even if they only spent a month or two in there, that might be enough for their power to surpass Buu's. With Goku's power right now, Buu is far too strong. Granted, they probably could defeat him if they teamed up. Of course, they're going to be teaming up regardless. But the issue is here, they don't want to kill Buu. Goku is still in there. Killing Buu means killing Goku. And their priority right now is to save him. So they do need some extra strength just so that they can keep up with Buu and probably find a way around it. If they go in right now guns blazing, their only options are either dying or killing Buu, neither of which are great. This would at least help them buy time. So, Shin takes them back to Earth, this time teleporting them to the lookout. Kami's of course very concerned, but he gladly lets them in there. And he tells them, if Buu gets anywhere near the lookout, he'll open the entrance and let them escape. That'll be their signal to know that it's time to get out. So, Gohan and Goten enter the Room of Spirit and Time. Goten actually hasn't been in here yet, but it's not too hard of an adjustment for him considering how strong he is at the moment. But what does Gohan have in mind? Are they just going to get stronger by training in general? Well, he also has an idea of what he could do for a form. Maybe Great Ape is key. I mean, they've had these tails all along, and for all they know, maybe they could try and access something with that. Although it's going to be kind of tough because there's no moon in here. There's no way for them to transform. At least as far as they know. It would be great if Vegeta and Nappa were here, but they're also inside of Buu, so yeah, that's not going to help. Gohan's goal right now is to try and surpass Super Saiyan 2 in any way possible. But maybe they don't need an artificial moon. If he could harness his Saiyan rage somehow, the feeling of turning into a Great Ape. Who knows? Maybe that could lead him somewhere, but it's still risky because if he transforms in here, well, that puts Goten at risk. But actually that kind of works in Gohan's favor too because that makes him more conscious of Goten. So if he does transform, who knows, maybe it will force him to learn the form. They're only theorizing right now. At best, they will get stronger, but Gohan wants to go beyond just Super Saiyan 2. So, training begins. On the outside, Buu is just trying to occupy himself. He's trying to figure out where everybody went. So, besides going around Earth causing chaos and eating a bunch of people, he also starts teleporting around space, trying to think of where everyone might possibly be. It seems they teleported off planet. He even goes to the sacred world of Kais, but he doesn't find anybody there. Shin and Kibito even evacuated because they knew Buu would probably follow them there. But Buu realizes he's going about this all wrong. He just needs to look inside himself. Literally, look at what Goku's thinking. Where would they go? What would Goku do in this moment, in this situation? He continues searching around for a couple of hours, and then it hits him. The lookout, the Room of Spirit and Time. Goku's been in there before, and maybe Gohan and Goten are in there right now. He's looked everywhere except on Earth, really. And he just realized too, if they were on Earth, he would have sensed their powers, except for that one place. And that explains everything perfectly. This is the place that he needs to look at. So he goes to the lookout, immediately encountering Kami. Without hesitation, Kami opens the door to the Room of Spirit and Time, and then teleports himself out of there as quick as possible. And Buu knows this is exactly where they are. He looks into the room, seeing the two of them training. And right before he steps in, Gohan and Goten step out. They had a few months in there, and that should be more than enough. With their power right now, they tell Buu, there's no way he's making out of this. Buu laughs at this notion, and he's about to launch an attack at them, but before he can execute it, Gohan launches one of his own, knocking Buu clear off the lookout. They're not going to fight here. Buu is sent rocketing down towards the surface below, with Gohan and Goten following. They've done it. They've unlocked a new power. While Gohan has been theorizing about using Great Ape somehow, instead, they stumbled upon something else. An evolution of Super Saiyan 2 even. Something beyond that. Before they started their training, Goten was barely on the cusp of getting Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan's ceiling was Super Saiyan 2. But now, they have something brand new that they'd love to show off against Buu.
but it's something that they can't really utilize for too long. So they are going to have to make it quick, which kind of defeats the purpose of what they're trying to do. They wanted to buy time. But it's okay, they'll save the best for last. Right now they can just fight a normal Super Saiyan 2, and if they need, they'll ascend it. Boo wants to know what they're talking about. There's a level beyond Super Saiyan 2? As far as he knows, Goku only can go there. And Gohan says there is a level beyond, but he's not going to need to show it to Boo. With their strength right now, they're definitely winning here. And suddenly, the locale changes for everybody. They end up on the Sacred World of Kais. Shin and Kibito teleported in, and just as quickly as they arrived, they used the Kai Kai again to teleport everyone off Earth. Whatever battle is about to ensue definitely won't be happening on Earth, because if it does, the whole planet's going to explode, even if they hold back their powers. So Shin and Kibito help out here. And also for reassurance, Shin creates a barrier around Gohan and Goten. He tells them this will allow them to breathe in space, meaning they can go out there and fight. It'll give them a lot more room to fight, and it means the planet won't get too damaged because even though the planet is strong, he doesn't know if it'll withstand this battle. Gohan thanks them and looks to his brother, asking if he's ready to fight. Goten nods, and the two of them jump up, rocketing out into space, with Boo following. The two brothers stare Boo down, and Boo then launches in. They clash in the vacuum of space. Shin and Kibito watch on from far away, down below on the planet, and they still feel the shockwaves of every attack. This power is so incredible, not just from Boo, but the two kids. What kind of insane potential do they have? And apparently this isn't their full power yet, they're just getting warmed up. As they're battling, Gohan's trying to work out a plan. He needs to figure out a way to get Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa out of there. And Boo's impressed, they actually are stronger. He swings at Gohan, but Gohan's quick enough to dodge, parrying the attack, grabbing Boo's arm, and swinging him around. He tosses Boo to Goten, who greets the Majin with a point-blank Kamehameha. Boo's barely able to block it in the nick of time, underestimating Goten's power. Of course, this isn't enough to eradicate him, but he's still surprised at the damage that Goten does. If this kid is this strong, then how strong are they at their full power? The two brothers fight in perfect unison, and they're actually glad to have this opportunity. It's pretty fun, having an all-out battle like this, especially as brothers. It's not something that they ever thought would happen, and something they hoped would never happen. But now that it's here, it's actually pretty nice. And Gohan looks at Goten proudly, seeing how well he's developed as a fighter. With Goten looking at Gohan in admiration, seeing how great he is as a fighter. But still, right now they are just buying time, trying to think of a plan to get everyone outside of Boo. I mean, worst case, they could just kill Boo and probably use the Dragon Balls to revive everyone, but they'd rather not resort to that. And then, Gohan gets the perfect idea. Boo starts launching candy beams towards him, and he realizes this is what they need. But how are they supposed to counteract this? And Shin has been reading his thoughts. A little creepy, but at least it's helpful. And he tells Gohan, with the barrier he provided to them, theoretically, if Boo were to eat one of them as candy, they shouldn't be assimilated within him. So maybe they could purposely be turned into candy. That could work. They need to make Boo desperate. So, the two brothers decide to power up, pulling out their trump cards. A level beyond Super Saiyan 2, which they simply call Super Saiyan 3. Even Goten has it. And this power is too much for Boo to handle. So, he goes to his last resort, trying to turn them into candy. And Goten is purposely hit by the beam. And it's weird being candy now, but he's still sentient, and once he gets eaten by Boo, he's actually okay. He's also kind of flipping out, but at least Shin and Kibito could probably reverse it. Gohan continues to face Boo in Super Saiyan 3, but Boo starts to notice something weird. He didn't absorb Goten's power, but wait, what? That doesn't make sense. He just ate Goten. Why doesn't he feel that power surge? And then he feels another strange feeling, like something inside of him just broke or got detached or whatever, and his power starts to go down. His clothes, they change, reverting into new outfits and then back to his regular Super Boo outfit. His stomach starts rumbling and then explodes. Gross, but effective. Candy Goten jumps out, but then realizing the mistake he made as Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa start floating in the vacuum of space. No need to worry though, because Shin teleports up, bringing them back down to the surface of the planet. Out of anger, Boo launches another candy beam, trying to turn Gohan into candy. He's gonna eat both of them. But Goten's able to jump in front of the beam, basically reversing the effects of what just happened to him, and now he's back to normal. And the two brothers still have a lot of power left in them, both in Super Saiyan 3 still. And with everyone saved from inside of Boo, they could finally eradicate him. Boo tries to put up one last fight, but he can't. He de-transforms, going back to his normal Super Boo form. Goten kept Fat Boo inside him because he wasn't sure what to do, so he doesn't revert to Kid Boo. And Super Boo realizes how screwed he is. He can't absorb anyone because that's not going to work. They know his tactics by now. There's no way for him to fight offensively anymore because these two are just so strong. And they're too fast too. But maybe he could buy time.
He still can't teleport, which is exactly what he does. He retreats, trying to teleport to wherever he can. He needs to find strong people to absorb. So he starts randomly hopping between planets. And he looks around. There's no one. No one strong that he could sense. He's going around randomly. He doesn't feel any strong powers, even though there definitely should be some out in space. But wait, what is he doing? He knows exactly who he should go for. He teleports back to the Sacred World of Kai's, landing on the surface of the planet. And without hesitation, he immediately launches a piece of himself towards Shin and Kibito. They're weak enough to absorb, so it won't be too much of an issue for him, but still strong enough that it'll grant him some sort of new powers maybe. And they're still not right next to Gohan and Goten, so that leaves him open for this. But right before the pieces of Buu are able to grab the Kai's, Goku's able to stop it. This time, he's not going to hesitate. He was just reawakened after being healed a little bit. Now that he's conscious and actually back in the battle, he's going to finish this the right way. And looks up as he senses his two sons descending on the planet, both in Super Saiyan 3. He's completely stunned. What form is this? They ascended Super Saiyan 2? Besides the confusion he's feeling, he also feels immense pride. He can't believe how far these two have come. He powers up into Super Saiyan 2, telling them it's time to finish this. Out of desperation, Buu has no other choice. He tries to fight back, but it's not going to work. The three members of the family stand together, each charging a Kamehameha. The family Kamehameha is launched in unison, with a brilliant blue light illuminating the entire galaxy, being seen from planets far away even. The power coming off of it is enough to knock everyone else back. As Shin and Kibito try to heal Vegeta and Nappa, they're just flung away. Well, as long as they're not aiming it right towards the planet, it should be fine. And of course, Buu is completely eradicated by this attack, with nothing but a massive divot leading out into space left behind. Not ideal, but Shin and Kibito can repair it. And at least Majin Buu is stopped. Vegeta and Nappa regain consciousness, and for a brief second, they see Gohan and Goten in these new forms. Again? They got a new power again? What the hell did they miss while they were unconscious? The three members of the Sun family power down, with Goku putting an arm around each of them. He can't believe it. Not only did they achieve this level of strength, but they formulated a plan that actually worked. Not to say he didn't expect this out of them. He knew they'd be capable of it. He raised them as great, smart fighters. And he knows that going forward, they're going to continue developing this way. Gohan looks out into the divot, looking at the aftermath of their attack. Nothing of Buu is left, and he feels content. But as he looks over the horizon, looking through the massive hole in the ground made by the Kamehameha, his eyes lock onto something. There's some moons in the sky. A couple of them, actually. He didn't even realize this during their battle because his eyes didn't fixate on them. But now that he's on the surface of the planet looking up at them, he feels strange. Then realizing exactly what's happening, he starts growing in size. His power surges. And Vegeta tells him to not look up. It's already too late. Gohan has transformed into a Great Ape. But Goten sees this might be an opportunity. Gohan was looking to try and utilize this power somehow, and if they're here with a planet that could actually handle this beating, plus with some people around Gohan that are strong enough to defeat him as a Great Ape, this could be their chance. This could be their chance to utilize that power, get a hold of it, and probably use it for something else. And Vegeta sees what they're trying to do. It's actually pretty genius, but he wonders if it's going to work. They have no knowledge of how to control Great Ape right now, and Gohan is completely berserk. But Goku's confident. He'll be able to stop this rampage, and hopefully calm Gohan down and get a control over this form. With Gohan now as a Great Ape, Goten and Goku know what to do. There's no time better than the present. They ask the Kais if they could do this here, and they say as long as the planet isn't destroyed, it's okay. But this planet's very resilient, it should be able to handle it, just like the battle with Buu. Although they are a bit concerned. Even if Great Ape isn't as strong as their Super Saiyan forms, there's still the fact that it's really strong. Especially in the hands of someone like Gohan. Completely uncontrolled as well. Goku and Goten are able to easily fight Gohan in this form. I mean, they just need Super Saiyan really. His strength isn't an issue for them, rather the fact that he can't control it. And that's why this is the perfect opportunity. They're not going to be risking Earth by having him train with this. And if they could figure out the secret to controlling this form with Gohan, maybe they could do it for themselves as well. It's not too hard to subdue the Great Ape. Vegeta and Nappa even offer tips. So they could use brute force, but there's also the fact that maybe Goku can get through to him. Gohan may be able to recognize Goku. So try and utilize that as well. And it doesn't take too long for them to figure out a way to do this. Not only is Gohan completely subdued by their powers, but Goku is also able to get through to him. Even through the sheer rampage, Gohan is able to recognize Goku and Goten, briefly snapping out of it and gaining some sort of control over himself. And it's a strange feeling. He now is actually somewhat controlled, I guess. And he's in this form. It feels strange, but he realizes who he is, where he is, and what's going on. He's not completely berserk. This is huge. It's just like Goten was trying to say before.
Who knows, maybe they could use this somehow to get some new powers. Get control over Grade 8, combine it with Super Saiyan maybe. Yeah, it seems like a long shot, but they will try it. It's better to get control over Grade 8 because otherwise, well, it would be bad whenever they look at the moon. They figured out ways around it by now, but by controlling it like this, maybe they could just get around the fact of transforming in general. Really, they're mostly doing this for convenience, but also the fact that they could probably get stronger from it too. Who knows though, that remains to be seen. But while they're here, they ask Gohan to try that. Power up into Super Saiyan while he's a Grade 8. He does so, and the results are kinda disastrous. His power soars tremendously, and once again, he does lose control. But this time it's gonna be tougher to stop him because he now has the power of Super Saiyan and Grade 8 combined. It's not just one of them. So as a golden Grade 8, he's unstoppable. Goku and Goten are able to fight him off though. With their combined strength and the fact that Gohan's fighting blindly, they just have to repeat the process of what they just did before. Although, this transformation also had an unintended side effect. With that great power, someone else takes notice of this transformation. The fight between Goku, Goten, and Gohan continues. And at some point, they're finally able to get Gohan to snap out of it again. It is a lot tougher this time, but he gains control. And something really strange starts happening. Well, two strange things start happening. For one, Gohan gets control over this form and starts shrinking down. But at the same time, two people teleport into the planet, completely unannounced, and as for everyone else, they can't even sense them. Goku's focus is diverted from Gohan to these two people, and then back to Gohan, and then back to these two. Two huge things are happening at once and he doesn't even have a clue of what's going on. Nor does anyone else really. Before these two mysterious people introduce themselves, they say they're just gonna watch for a bit. Gohan continues shrinking down, and eventually returns to a humanoid form, although he looked very different from his base. He didn't de-transform, he transformed. This seems to be a completely new power. The power of a Grade 8 and Super Saiyan together. He looks completely different, and they have no clue of what he's unlocked. And Gohan's also confused because he sees these two other people here. And they finally introduce themselves, Beerus and Whis. Beerus was awakened by that huge power surge from Gohan. It was so incredibly powerful that it was able to wake him up. And now seeing this form, there's no other way around it. This has to be a Super Saiyan God. But he doesn't sense any divine ki coming off of Gohan. Whoa, wait. Super Saiyan God? This is the power of Grade 8 and Super Saiyan. Oh, interesting, so this isn't that form. Well, it does look a little bit primal. Maybe Beerus jumped the gun a bit. But he does know one thing, it's powerful, and he wants to fight this Saiyan. Maybe he could be the Super Saiyan God. Well, who knows though, apparently this form isn't godly, but it definitely is strong. Everybody is completely lost right now, but once Beerus catches them all up to speed, yeah, they'll fight Beerus. Much earlier on in the story, Battle of Gods begins in a much different format too. Beerus faces Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, and his power is actually pretty impressive. Even though this isn't a godly form, Beerus is having a lot of fun. He never expected to find a mortal this strong. And Whis is intrigued too. Something's weird about these three Saiyans. Of course, he knows Saiyans are naturally pretty strong, at least by mortal standards. But these three are so absurdly powerful, especially Gohan right there. And he doesn't doubt that Goku and Goten can catch up there too. The battle between Beerus and Gohan ends. And he did have a lot of fun. But he still is interested to see the Super Saiyan God. He's definitely going to keep in touch with these Saiyans. It would be great if he could just train them. Maybe that way, Whis could help figure out how to get Super Saiyan God. They have no Shenron here and no idea of the ritual. And Whis just theorizes maybe if they utilize this form and get some godly ki, that could lead to Super Saiyan God. But of course, they won't know until they try. Beerus turns to Gohan. Would he like to train on their planet? Well, Gohan actually does like the idea, but also he has to go back to Earth. If he can go between the places, that would be great, but he doesn't plan on staying there for a while. Although, Goku jumps at the opportunity. He'd love to do this. Well, you know what? 2's better than 1 anyways. Even if Goku is weaker than Gohan at the moment, soon enough he'll be able to unlock this form and probably something even above it. And Beerus will still have Gohan training on his planet too, so it's a win-win. Imagine that, 2 Super Saiyan gods. Vegeta and Nappa are a bit bummed because they're completely ignored. I mean, Beerus does acknowledge them, but they're clearly far behind these other Saiyans, and Whis even notes that too. No offense, that's just the way it is. With Goku going to train on Beerus' planet, especially how early on in the story he's going, and with Gohan even going there too, there's going to be some key developments. Just like how Vegeta was able to unlock Super Saiyan God by training on this planet, Goku may be able to do the same, although at a much faster pace. This entire scenario is about him having Frieza's potential. And he does grow stronger faster from training, but also another part of that is he could probably unlock transformations quicker too. And once he does get access to godly ki, that insane potential kicks in. Goku's power, just in base alone, it completely skyrockets. And eventually he is able to unlock Super Saiyan God, and this is really impressive.
Beerus can't even wait any longer, and a fight immediately ensues between the two. Goku can barely control the power at first, but as the fight continues, Goku learns to control it more and more. And Beerus is actually stunned by how strong Goku got. Beerus definitely is suppressed here, but not by a significant amount. It's not like he's only using a percentage of his power. He's still using a fraction of his power, but a big chunk of it. And this is only when Goku just got Super Saiyan God. Imagine when he gets stronger. With his insane potential, that's definitely possible. He definitely needs to train Goku more. Right now, he's shaping up to be a great rival. But he could be an even greater rival, possibly even a god of destruction. Although, it doesn't seem like Goku wants to go down that path. But Beerus is going to train him for it anyways. It will help him grow a lot stronger than he is right now. Which is saying a lot because Goku's already incredibly powerful. Keep in mind this is also immediately after the Buu Saga. There wasn't a short time skip in between, but rather Goku was just sent to that planet and started training immediately. So on Earth, not much is really going on. It's not like Resurrection F's going to happen yet because it's still too early. Although, training does ensue over there. Gohan continues working more with Super Saiyan 4. Of course, he does visit Beerus' planet at some points, but he doesn't actually focus on Super Saiyan God. He has Godly Ki, a little bit of it at least. And that boosts his power dramatically. And he focuses on Super Saiyan 4. Goten wants to get it too. Right now, Super Saiyan 3 is his max. But he could definitely go up to this too. But it also gets Vegeta and Nappa wondering, can they get Super Saiyan 4 as well? I mean, theoretically, they should be able to. They just need Super Saiyan and Great Ape, both of which they already have great control over. So, they'll definitely be working towards that. Years pass. And Resurrection F does happen, but it's not even funny how quickly it ends. This is actually a perfect opportunity for Goten, an opponent that he wants to face. Goten faces Frieza, alone. And Frieza laughs at the idea that he's fighting this child. But base Goten is able to keep up with Final Form Frieza, and then he goes into Super Saiyan 3. Frieza transforms into Golden, and is surprised to see that somehow he can't even face this kid. And Goten even chuckles during the battle. Super Saiyan 3 might actually be kind of overkill. But whatever, Gohan told him he needs to get rid of Frieza as quick as possible, so as much as he'd love to have fun here, he can't really stick around. And easily, Goten is able to eradicate Frieza. Nice! Vegeta and Nappa probably could have fought him too, but it's still funny to see this child defeat Frieza like that. So easily, in fact, too. To think they've come this far, where Frieza, after being revived and getting a new form and getting stronger, was somehow defeated by a young Saiyan using a third Super Saiyan form. It's crazy how much has happened since they got here. Following this, we definitely would have the Universe 6 tournament. And by now, Goku 100% has Super Saiyan Blue. He has been training on Beerus' planet for years. He would have unlocked it a while ago. Gohan is kind of intrigued, but he also focuses more on his Earth life. But even with his minimal training compared to Goku, he is still able to keep up with him somehow. He does have Godly Ki, which helps too. Add that with his great potential and the fact that he's focusing on Super Saiyan 4, and it seems like he's going down his own path, but still growing incredibly powerful thanks to his insane potential. Same with Goten too. He eventually would get Super Saiyan 4, but that's kind of weird to think about, because I know Goku turned into an adult when he used it, but like, he was already an adult beforehand in a kid's body? So maybe Goten would transform into an adult? Who knows? I don't care. You know what? I don't even care about the GT logic. We're just gonna have Goten turn into an adult when he turns Super Saiyan 4. It looks hilarious. And it would confuse the hell out of everybody, which is just so good. I love it. And still, one of the least crazy things in this scenario so far. Okay, but back to what I was saying. Universe 6 tournament, with Goku having Super Saiyan Blue. Wow, you know what? I kind of just realized I went off on a tangent there about Super Saiyan forms. But that's because there's not too much else to cover about the Universe 6 tournament. With Super Saiyan Blue, Goku is just able to completely wash everybody. And that's without using the form too. Base Goku alone, with no effort at all, could just wash everybody at the tournament. Except Hit. Hit might require Super Saiyan, but even that might be a little bit overboard. Once Goku figures out all the time tactics, Hit's also easy to defeat too. And Champa's amazed to see this. Why is this mortal so strong? Is he on their level? And Beerus comments on this. He definitely is. This is his rival. Not just Whis' student, but a full-on rival of Beerus. They spar occasionally, like a lot. And Beerus has concluded that they are equal in power by now. And Goku is definitely growing faster. But with Beerus also training now with Goku, Beerus is growing as well. Which is interesting. Normally he was lazy before, but Goku has motivated Beerus to train, which is insane. Because Beerus was already powerful, but he's growing even stronger. It's an unexpected turn of events, and especially for Champa to hear this, he's amazed. Wow, he wonders if any Saiyans in his universe are that strong. Probably not, but it's worth wondering. They'll look into it later. And yeah, you heard me right. Beerus is training with Goku. Whis is no longer training Goku, even though he does want him to get Ultra Instinct, but that's going to be kind of hard because now he's focused on working with Beerus. They love sparring together. and both of them mutually benefit from this. And they've been doing this for years now. It's been a game to see who can get ahead of the other. With Super Saiyan Blue, at one point Goku was probably ahead of Beerus, probably by a significant amount too. But with Beerus now training again, he's catching up. This is the rivalry he needed. It reinvigorates him. It makes everything so much more fun, having someone this strong not just to fight, but to motivate him to grow stronger. Although, this is all a double-edged sword. In another universe, there are rumors spreading. Actually, all the universes know about it by this point. So, Champa does know this for a fact, but on GodTube, I mean, let's be honest, it's probably just like YouTube and there's probably some insane conspiracy theorists on there. And let's say on GodTube, one person, one of these crazy conspiracy theorists, suggests that there's a mortal in some universe that's stronger than a god of destruction. And it's not like the rumors about Universe 11, this one actually has more weight to it. Universe 7 apparently has a mortal like that. And the Universe 6 tournament confirms this. One person in particular is watching on, Zamasu. He doesn't actually see Goku use his godly powers, but he could tell. All those rumors and theories floating around. This mortal is making a mockery of gods, and for some reason he's a rival to a god of destruction. It's disgusting, repulsive. Zamasu needs to expunge this mortal, as well as getting rid of the gods that caused this. But how could he do so? He does consider taking Goku's body, but he has a better idea. He'd rather fight Goku personally. That's too easy. He does still want to go through with this plan, but he doesn't want to do it with Goku's body. That would make things a lot less fun. He wants to personally kill Goku, and not weaken Goku in the process. He wants to truly show Goku that gods can triumph over mortals. But he is still going to need to steal someone else's body for this too. All he requires is that it's someone other than Goku, so he could personally fight this mortal, this disgusting lower life form playing as a god. And Zamasu may have the perfect idea of whose body to steal. With Zamasu having seen the tournament on GodTube, he's now intrigued. Well, that intrigue comes from anger, but still intrigued. And he decides to seek out some information, and that leads him right to Zuno. He wants to get as much info about Goku as possible, looking into his training and how he got so strong. But from what he can find, he learned something pretty interesting from Zuno. Goku has a ton of potential and is very strong as is, but his kids are also very powerful as well. And not just that, his kids probably have more potential than him due to being hybrids. So while Zamasu was focused on Goku, he actually might have found someone else that could be stronger than him. Especially if he's going to be taking someone's body, Zamasu now has a better idea in mind. And this will still work well symbolically, not just because of the person's power, but because of his connection to Goku. His sights are now set on Gohan. This way, Zamasu can attain that insane power. And the best part is, he'll actually be able to fight Goku. He'll probably take much more pleasure killing Goku rather than just stealing his body and killing him that way. It'll be much more satisfying to do this, take his son's body, and use that to kill Goku. Although there is going to be a huge change here regarding the timelines, because there is no time traveler in this story. The Zamasu we're talking about, that's the Zamasu of this main timeline. So all this stuff is happening in this timeline, not some other random separate one or some future timeline. And now, Zamasu has to get the Super Dragon Balls. Of course, they were just recently used, but thankfully, he has the time ring. He seeks out the Super Dragon Balls, summoning Super Shenron and making his wish. Let's go over to Earth for now. Thankfully, Zamasu caught everyone at the perfect time, because Goku is on Earth as well. One day while researching, something strange happens to Gohan. He notices his hand turn green and he feels weird. Is he sick or something? He runs to a mirror and sees that he's not Gohan anymore. He doesn't know who he is. He looks kind of like a Supreme Kai or something. He doesn't want to freak his family out, but he knows exactly who to go to. He decides to go to Goku. Well, it will freak him out, and he is family, so at least he's not going to Videl or something. Maybe Goku will have some sort of answer? Who knows? He has no idea of what to do right now. He just needs help. As he flies over to Goku, he notices another power come in. And the energy feels familiar, but like in a weird way. As in, it's an energy that should be familiar to him, but something that he's never really sensed before. It's his own energy, mixed with something else too. He lands outside of Goku's house, and another person lands right in front of him. He sees himself. This, of course, is Zamasu in his body. Immediately he's on guard, not knowing if this is a threat or not, but it obviously seems like a threat. Gohan Black lunges in, and Gohan tries to defend, but knowing that this body is weaker, he doesn't see how he's supposed to defend against himself. In the nick of time though, Goku flies in, blocking Gohan Black's attack. And he's just as confused. He sensed this weird energy, and he sees that the attack he's blocking is from Gohan, but he also senses Gohan's energy in that other person. Gohan tries to clarify that this is him. And even though that looks like Gohan, that's not him. Obviously this is confusing to Goku, but Gohan Black immediately begins attacking him, and that pretty much shows everything that he needs to know. Whoever this is took Gohan's body and appearance somehow. and Gohan tries to help, but this new body he's in is too weak. Goku's not too sure what to do either. He has an opportunity to defeat whoever this is, because Gohan Black doesn't have full access to Gohan's power yet. Although, Goku doesn't think this is a good idea. If this actually is someone that took Gohan's body, if he kills this person, then he's destroying Gohan's body. What are they supposed to do then? For now, he continues fighting this guy, who appears to be really strong even though he's not transforming. Goku then has to transform himself, going into Super Saiyan. This makes Gohan Black elated. Finally, he's getting to see some of this power, and he can learn for himself, learn a way to actually utilize this. But from what he could tell, this isn't even their final form. It's actually their first form. It's still useful, but Gohan Black wants to learn more powers. He needs to get something different than this. He continues fighting Goku, and Gohan tries to think of what to do. He has one idea though. If Goku powers up enough, he could probably just restrain Gohan Black. Maybe there'll be a way to do that. That's really all they need right now. They need answers, and they won't get it by killing this guy. If anything, that could make things worse. And Gohan Black is getting pretty angry. This power, he expected to have more of it, but it already seems like his plan is failing. He didn't even realize, when he switched bodies, he wasn't going to have access to Gohan's full power. And he's losing here. He's being humiliated, actually. Goku's not even using his full power. And he's still able to overcome Gohan Black's power. Goku powers up, going into Super Saiyan 4, not wanting to use too much strength, but this is more than enough. He creates rings of ki, throwing them around Gohan Black, completely restraining him. Gohan Black tries to wiggle free, but he can't. Alright, now to figure out what's going on. But of course, Gohan Black's not going to give up the info that easily. The only info that they have is his outfit. From what they could tell, this outfit looks godly, kind of reminding them of a Supreme Kai. And that also makes sense because Gohan now also kind of looks like a Supreme Kai. But who is this Kai? Why does Gohan look like one? And why is that other Gohan dressed like one? They keep questioning Gohan Black, saying they know it has something to do with being a Kai. And that kind of narrows it down. Well, for all they know, there's more Kais than they can know of. But they know 12 universes, and it's obviously not their Supreme Kai. So they got a 1 out of 11 chance of guessing where he's from. And Gohan Black says it's useless. Even if they figure out his identity, it doesn't matter. Soon enough, he'll access Gohan's full strength, break out of these chains, and he'll kill them both. But Goku says that's not happening anytime soon. He's clearly struggling right now. Looks like they're gonna have to get Beerus involved. Alright, that's an issue. Zamasu needs to buy time. He's backed into a corner right now. Until he can access that power, he needs to make sure that Goku and Gohan don't go to Beerus. So he just explains who he is. He doesn't care about giving this info away. They probably were gonna find out eventually too. This is just to buy time. He keeps his monologue long, trying to power up during it. Access that rage within him. They figure out he's Zamasu of Universe 10. He also ended up killing the Supreme Kai of that universe, Goasu. He was working under him. He got the Super Dragon Balls using the Time Ring, and now he stole Gohan's body. His goal is to kill every mortal, and once he accesses Gohan's full power, he can. And he can tell, he's losing their interest, he's running out of time. They're gonna wanna stop him as quick as possible, but he feels something snap within him. That rage, this is what he needed. Being beat down like this, humiliated, having to force himself to explain all this. If he doesn't get that power now, he'll never be able to accomplish the Zero Mortals plan. His goal is to use the Time Ring, and expunge all the mortals in the past too. The universe needs to start anew, one ruled by him. Not just this universe, every universe, the entire multiverse. But without strength, he won't be able to accomplish that. And something catches Zamasu's eye. He looks up in the sky, just barely visible. He could see the moon. His rage, combined with seeing the moon, something changes. His power dramatically increases. The chains around him are broken, and Goku could sense something terrifying. His godly ki, it's surging. But also he's transforming into a different form. Not a godly form, he's going into Super Saiyan 4? But what is this? There's godly power that he could sense. Due to him being a Kai, and also transforming into Super Saiyan 4, this form mutates into something else. A collection of all of his strength. This appears to be a godly version of Super Saiyan 4. It doesn't look too much different from normal Super Saiyan 4. It's not like he's going Super Saiyan Rose on top of it just yet. It's essentially an evolved version of the form, with a fearsome reddish-pink glow around him. But other than that, it looks like a normal Gohan and Super Saiyan 4, with different clothes albeit. Goku tries to attack him, but Zamasu is able to block all his attacks. And Goku does recall, even in base this guy was powerful, so of course Super Saiyan 4 is going to be way stronger, not to mention it has that godly ki within it. So Goku's going to need to do something himself, show off more of his power. Thankfully, Gohan Black is weakened and a bit injured from that fight, so he's a little tired out as well. And even though this form is strong, Goku might be able to overcome it. He's been practicing, and this is the perfect time to show off his new power. He begins transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. but it turns into a different kind of Super Saiyan Blue. It's his first time using this in the real world. He's practiced with this before, but this is what he calls Super Saiyan Blue evolution. The fruits of his training are finally being shown, and Gohan Black laughs with delight. This is it. This is all of Goku's power. Maybe he could attain something similar, but who knows? But that doesn't matter. What matters right now is killing Goku here and now. Then, killing the Supreme Kai of this universe so he doesn't have to deal with Beerus. The longer he stays here, the higher chance there is that Beerus will find him, and his plan will be worthless. Gohan does want to try and help him fight, but Goku says to stay back. With that body, it's far too weak, and he'll just be putting himself in danger. Gohan Black takes some offense to this too. That mortal should be grateful to be in a Kai's body. Even though he did abandon it, it's still a body of a Kai. Gohan Black's twisted mind takes this as an insult too. Don't look down upon the gods. They're the ones that should be looking down upon mortals. As the fight ensues, Gohan Black is already growing stronger. Goku notices. He's getting a better control of Gohan's power, utilizing his body and power more efficiently. He's learning as he fights, growing in power too. Summoning more of his rage, he's able to grow more. That intense godly aura grows more and more. A mutated version of it. The ki of a Supreme Kai, mixed with Gohan, mixed with Super Saiyan 4. And Goku can tell, if he doesn't stop this as quick as possible, maybe Zamasu will unlock some sort of new power. This incredibly unique situation with him can cause this. He's seen how fast Zamasu has grown already in Gohan's body, already tapping into new powers that even Gohan didn't see before. Plus, he is a fearsome opponent, retaining all of his abilities as a Kai, such as being able to teleport. But this isn't going to go unnoticed. With this huge amount of surging godly ki, of course, Beerus is probably going to pick up on it. He's relaxing on his planet, and he noticed something strange. He senses Goku, utilizing his full power. Oh, he must be training. But he's fighting someone else that has godly ki within. And this makes Beerus alert. He asks Whis to immediately look into this. Who else has godly ki that he could be fighting? Because this ki doesn't seem like anything that he sensed before. He doesn't know who this is. Whis looks into his staff, and they see exactly what's going on. Immediately departing for Earth. Goku finally has the upper hand in the battle, and he's about to finish it. But Gohan Black's ki keeps mutating. And finally, the worst possible outcome happens. The power, it manifests itself as something different. That same aura around him, it flares up, getting far more intense. He powers up, thanking Goku. This is what he needed, that rage, that damage. Those injuries will make him grow stronger. The anger will make him grow stronger. It's the key to his power. Pink flames surround him, spiraling upwards and creating a pillar of pink ki, reaching far into the atmosphere, parting all the clouds. The area is illuminated in an ominous pinkish glow, with Gohan Black floating far above the ground. He descends back down, and he could tell, he doesn't look too much different. This is still Super Saiyan 4, but his fur, it's changed color. His aura has changed too, and his power, it's far greater than it ever was before. He has no idea of what to call this. But how about something elegant, like Super Saiyan 4 Rose? And he says that the mortal should be thanking him. That's Super Saiyan 4 form. It was so primitive. He's made it beautiful now, made it godly. This is true power right here. Goku can't do anything against him. Blue evolution's not enough. Gohan Black actually welcomes the attacks. He keeps getting punched by Goku, but the punches do nothing. They barely even tickle. Goku starts rapidly punching as well. So fast, in fact, that Gohan can even see his arms moving. He's not even able to make a dent. And Goku feels something he hasn't felt in a while, concern. He always has been looking for strong opponents to fight. Given his unique situation, he's never been able to find someone like this. But now that he sees it right in front of him, he feels something he's felt a few times before, against strong opponents like Boo or Cell. But this time it's different. With those opponents, he saw a way out of it. But here, Gohan Black is just so far above him that he doesn't know what to do. Was this Gohan's true potential? He never thought he'd see the day. A day where he'd see opponents so powerful. And of all people, it's his own son. Gohan Black's elated. He's about to finish the fight, but then someone else enters. Gohan Black's stomach drops as he looks around to see Beerus. But even though he's concerned at first, that concern then turns into happiness. With this power, maybe he'll be able to face a god of destruction. Maybe he won't need to kill a Supreme Kai. And imagine how gratifying it will be to kill a god of destruction, with his bare hands, in a proper way, not by killing a Supreme Kai. He smirks, introducing himself to Beerus. Beerus is ready for a fight. Remember, in this scenario, Beerus is a lot more proactive as a warrior. Of course, even in the main story we did see Beerus doing a little bit of training, such as him using a fake version of Ultra Instinct in the manga. But here, he actually has that rival that he wanted, someone that's around his strength, someone that could push him to go further. Beerus frequently spars with and trains with Goku here. But this is different. This is a threat, someone that can give him a fun battle, but also challenge him. There's actual stakes here. a perfect test of his strength as a god of destruction. Will he be sufficient enough? In his mind, if he can't win this battle, he's not fit to be a god of destruction regardless. Gohan Black's getting very strong very quickly, but Beerus is confident. He powers up. And people can't sense his ki, but even without that, everyone on Earth can feel Beerus' immense power. His presence is just overwhelming. Even Gohan Black's taken aback a bit. Beerus is surrounded by an ominous purple glow. Goku's only seen this in a few of their fights where they went all out. This is Beerus' full power. Beerus completely disappears from sight. A trail of purple flames can be seen, but Beerus can't. Gohan Black turns his head, knowing that Beerus is right there. But before he can even turn his head all the way around, Beerus delivers a powerful kick. It generates a massive shockwave, one that goes around the world. The power of this kick almost sends Gohan Black flying into space. Within a fraction of a second, he's sent flying into the atmosphere. But before he exits Earth, Beerus moves so quickly that he meets him up there, spiking him down to the surface of the planet. And at this immense speed, if he does hit the Earth, it's gonna blow up. So, Beerus once again moves quick enough to catch him down there, stopping him with a powerful gut punch, creating another strong shockwave. If they keep fighting, the planet's gonna blow up just from the shockwaves alone. But Beerus wants to enjoy this. He doesn't want to hold back just for the planet. And yeah, no one else wants Earth at risk either, but Whis says if something does happen, he'll just reverse time. That's perfect for Beerus. He can go all out right now, and if he doesn't finish the job, worst case, Whis will just rewind time, and then he'll Hakai Gohan Black. Gohan Black is not only dumbfounded to hear this, but also angered. More time manipulation, this time from gods. Just so he could have fun in a battle? It infuriates him to no end, and that anger fuels him. He powers up, launching in towards Beerus. And Beerus is happy. He's finally fighting back. And as this fight is going on, Goku and Gohan are watching, and Gohan realizes, wait, Beerus just said he's gonna Hakai him. Yeah, they kinda need to stop that. They try and jump into battle, but Beerus tells them not to interfere. He doesn't want them to get in the way. Okay, well, they just want to remind him, whatever he does, don't kill Gohan Black or destroy his body. They just want to seal him somehow. Beerus is already getting a little bit too carried away. And Goku does want to interfere to stop him, but he knows that'll just make things worse and it'll make Beerus angrier. And even though Beerus is acting irrational right now, he does consider keeping this body around. He could have a fight with Gohan like this in the future sometime. Even though he's not the one using it right now, imagine how strong this could grow. As much as it pains him to do so, he stops fighting, and Gohan Black's confused. Beerus sticks a hand out. Gohan Black recoils, expecting to be erased, but instead, he's sealed away. Beerus cools down, like literally cooling down. Not only does he calm down, but that heat surrounding him goes away. That intense aura is gone. He had some fun, and he knows that he could fight Goku anytime, and maybe even Gohan. But Goku owes him for this, interrupting that battle. He was having a lot of fun, and he needs something to make up for it. Following this, Shenron is summoned. They're not sure if this is going to work, but they ask Shenron to swap Gohan and Gohan Black's bodies. Shenron says normally he wouldn't be able to do this, but thankfully, with Gohan Black being sealed and very weakened here, I mean he was basically beaten almost to death by Beerus, Shenron is able to do this. Gohan gets his normal body back, and Zamasu is sealed away. But Gohan notices something strange, a lingering sense of godly power that he didn't feel before. Goku notices it too. It's just like Gohan Black, except this is his own power now. The power must have remained in his body. And Gohan tries to test it out. He transforms, and he's able to use Super Saiyan 4 Rose. He knew the power was insane, but now actually having access to it, he's completely dumbfounded. And Beerus is elated to see this, especially because he has something to hold over their heads. They do owe him for not destroying Gohan Black, and as repayment, he wants Gohan to fight him, join him on the planet, at least for a little bit. And Gohan accepts. He kinda has to anyways because he needs to learn how to control this power, and he definitely can't do that here on Earth. Even if he wasn't obligated to go because of Beerus, he probably would have done so regardless. He wants to learn this power, get a better control of it, use it further. It impresses everyone, especially Goku. Once again, it seems like Gohan surpassed him, now having access to this incredibly powerful godly form. And if this is what Gohan can do, well, hopefully Goten can do something similar in the future. I mean, he already did get Super Saiyan 3 and 4, so judging by how Gohan grew, he expects Goten can grow a lot too in the future. Some time passes. Whis and Beerus try to teach Goku different techniques, but Goku can really only go down one path. He notices that the things that Whis is teaching him and the things that Beerus is teaching him kind of conflict with each other. He still is Goku though. Even with a different life, he still has Goku's mindset, and a lot of the knowledge that Goku gathered as a kid, many from the same teachers. So while Beerus' techniques are pretty interesting, he might want to focus on Whis' instead, maybe going down the path of Ultra Instinct. But there is a catch. The thing is, unlike the normal story, he's training with Beerus, like they spar together and train as normal training partners. They are rivals, and with how much time he spends with Beerus, even if he would want to pick up on Whis' techniques, he's probably going to end up picking up stuff from Beerus regardless. And Beerus really does want Goku to learn some God of Destruction powers. In his hands, they could be great. Goku doesn't really want to become a God of Destruction, but Beerus at least says that he could try it out. Learn the powers, try utilizing these techniques. He wants to see how far Goku's strength can go, and that'll only push him further too. For the power he's trying to unlock, he'd have to stick to his Saiyan roots, stick to his ego, but that's not really who Goku is. Soon enough, we also have the Tournament of Power coming up. What would the team look like here? It's actually not too hard to formulate. There's Goku, Gohan, Goten, Vegeta, Nappa, and Tarble, so all of those Saiyans. And as for the humans, Tenshinhan, Krillin, Orochi, and Yamcha. Not too hard of a team to form. And Team Universe 7 is pretty confident. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Look at Goku, Gohan, and Goten in this scenario. Also, the rest of the team is pretty powerful too. Vegeta and Nappa are there, and they're pretty good. And even though the humans might not have the same strength as the Saiyans, they're still amazing fighters and great strategists. Tarble's actually kind of an oddball on the team. But even as the weakest Saiyan here, he's still a Saiyan after all, which is exactly why Vegeta suggests recruiting him. There's no need to recruit a villain here because they have enough strength. So as their 10th fighter, they just need someone else to fill the spot essentially, even if Tarble's not that great of a fighter. And maybe this will help him get more involved with the cast. But as I mentioned, the team is already incredibly powerful, and as you could probably expect, Goku, Gohan, and Goten are really going to carry this tournament. First of all, Goten starts out by immediately turning Super Saiyan 4, which really confuses everyone because he was just a kid and now he's an adult? What? Even though that's a pretty weird thing to see, it's not even the craziest thing they're going to see here. It's not like anyone could process it either, because Super Saiyan 4 Goten is incredibly powerful and probably way beyond a lot of the other people in the tournament. And that's Goten. He's not even the strongest in his family. With him using this form, they realize, wow, it's kind of overkill. This is going to be a much easier tournament than they thought, but there's got to be strong people in other universes, right? Well, there's some, but compared to Goku, Gohan, and Goten, not really. Because remember, the whole point of the scenario is them having Frieza's potential, and with how much they've been training and the forms they've gotten, all that stuff, really, who's going to be able to contend with them here? It's a problem that Goku's encountered before. In the previous few parts, we've discussed this a little bit, and Goku's starting to see it once again. Gohan would love to test out Super Saiyan 4 Rosé, but it's just too powerful. He can't even have a fun fight here, it's just kinda unfair at this rate. And even Jiren, well, maybe he'll be fun to battle. Goku tries to take him on alone. Utilizing his god forms is more than enough to contend against him, even forcing Jiren to use his full power. And that kind of stinks because Goku did want to try something out against him, something that Beerus has been teaching him. Well, maybe he still could try it. It's a power derived from ego. He tries tapping into it, and briefly, he's able to use it. Beerus has seen this a little bit in their training, but Goku hasn't really been able to control it. Goku's surrounded by the same flames that Beerus was once surrounded by. The other gods of destruction are astonished. Same for Toppo too, and now he sees, Jiren is definitely not going to have a chance against Goku. That kind of power in Goku's hands, what is he going to do against it? And Gohan's excited to see this too. This is helping Goku catch up to him, but there's a few issues. For one, of course this isn't going to be a fun fight, Goku's still so far ahead. But on top of that, as he tries using this power, he can't really get a grasp on it. Beerus thought this would be a great test for him, but apparently it's not. Goku drops out of it. This isn't who he is. First of all, in a battle like this where he's so far ahead, for a form that grows as he fights and has fun, taking damage and having his battle spirit flare up, this isn't the fight for that. But on top of that, remember what Ultra Ego is. It's right in the name. It's ego. Like I was saying before, this isn't Goku. This directly conflicts with who he is. Even Vegeta had trouble reverting back to his original self, trying to utilize this form. Of course, Vegeta's a much different case though, but for Goku, the fact that he can't use this properly tells Beerus something. And it's something he already kinda knew. Yeah, he kinda knew Goku wasn't compatible with this form, but at the same time, it seems like Goku doesn't really want it, because if this is something he wanted, well, he'd be able to access it. It's all about ego after all. But it seems like it's something that he fundamentally can't work with. Goku is still able to defeat Jiren without utilizing Ultra Ego. And of course, the Universe 7 wins the tournament. And while the battles in the tournament weren't too intriguing for Universe 7, this still was a good learning experience, especially for Goku because it sets him down the right path, and it shows Beerus what Goku really needs. Maybe if he does work with Whis' techniques, well, it could really help Goku. He can get really strong. With how fast Goku can grow, who knows, maybe he can unlock Ultra Instinct. It's something that was even kind of unattainable for Beerus, but maybe it's more suited for Goku. Maybe he'll be able to go down that path. Whis has been saying this for a while, and Goku kind of did want to try this out too, and now's the opportunity. Gohan supports it as well. He continues working with his form. Super Saiyan Rosé with Super Saiyan 4 was amazing, and it's cool that he can even access Super Saiyan Rosé as is. But watching Goku grow, utilizing Ultra Instinct, or at least trying to go down the path towards that, that's going to be really good for both of them, because it's like I was saying, there's no one really that could fight here. They're so powerful. But if Goku were to get stronger, get a technique like that, get a form like that, it'll push Beerus and Gohan, its main rivals. And yeah, he could try utilizing Ultra Ego again, but it seems like that's not going to work. Beerus is very intrigued by this development though. I mean, it's great regardless because Goku's getting stronger, his rival's getting stronger, meaning he'll get stronger. He'll be more motivated. But on top of that, It'll be really fun to see a mortal get Ultra Instinct, if that's even possible. I mean, he got Ultra Ego though, so who knows, Goku always has impressed him. But for Beerus, the big takeaway here is that he's even more motivated. Like, he was before in the scenario much more than normal. But now thinking that his rival might have Ultra Instinct while he doesn't, well, imagine how much that's going to push Beerus. Yeah, not only will it benefit him in strength, but what if he could use this as an opportunity, trying to finally learn and master Ultra Instinct for himself, something that he hasn't been able to do for so long. This is his chance, the opportunity to get Ultra Instinct. It's finally in his grasp. Not just his, but Goku's too. Following the tournament, of course, their training continues, but on Earth, there's something else brewing. Actually, not just yet. First, we begin in space. Even though Frieza wasn't revived, parts of the Frieza Force are still going around trying to get revenge somehow. Okay, so reviving the Emperor is not going to work. They've definitely ruled that out by now. But even without Frieza, the Frieza Force can still continue on. Maybe there's some other strong power out there, someone else that could help them. And with some aimless scouting out in space, they're able to try and find some new soldiers. Specifically, a Saiyan that they stumble across, which is really interesting. The fact that there's another Saiyan out there, and he's on some weird abandoned planet called Vampa. They immediately take him in, and his strength is apparent. Even Paragus, who's old and frail now, he's decently powerful compared to the other Frieza Force soldiers, which really shows how far their ranks have fallen. And it's weird for him to see, the Frieza Force without Frieza. And they all end up striking a deal. Well, they save Broly and Paragus, so that's a good thing. And because of that, they want a favor. They want these two to help eradicate the Saiyans on Earth. The Saiyans on Earth? Well, that's another plus for Paragus because he could finally find Vegeta and kill him. They don't even need to ask any further. Yeah, this is great. And now we go back to Earth. One important thing worth noting is that Tarbal's now there, even training with his brother a bit. It's him, Vegeta, and Nappa, and they are feeling very left behind. Obviously, Tarbal's not really going to care too much. He is excited to start training and grow stronger, but Vegeta and Nappa, they've known this for a while and they've been feeling this for a while. Kakarot and his kids, they're just on a completely different level. They still don't know what caused it or why, but it's just a fact. No matter what they do, they might not be able to reach that level, but they can still train. They can grow stronger. They can push themselves and be the best they could possibly be. And even if they can't grow as crazily as Goku's family, they can still learn. Like Goten, for example, he's just using regular Super Saiyan forms. Well, Super Saiyan 4 is not really a regular form, but still, something they can work towards. And they could definitely work towards Super Saiyan 3, but still, they kind of need something to push them. And that thing will arrive soon on Earth, specifically arriving in a Frieza Force spaceship. They bring Broly to Earth. The Saiyans all sense this power. Others sense it as well, but the only people that actually try and check it out are Vegeta, Nappa, and Tarbal, wondering what this power is. They're surprised to see a Frieza Force spaceship. They didn't realize those losers were still around, but whatever. More scraps to clean up, that's fine. Of course, Frieza doesn't step off the ship. And actually, no Frieza Force soldiers step off either. Just two people. And they're clearly Saiyans. On the sight of Vegeta, Paragus immediately sicks Broly on them. Now this comes as a surprise to them. Not only does another Saiyan exist, but the Frieza Force somehow recruited him and now he's going to try and fight them. That's not going to go over well for this guy. I mean, he's just one Saiyan. How strong could he possibly be? There's no way he's on their level. As Broly begins charging up, Vegeta steps forward. Alright, he'll see what this guy's got. He wonders how strong this Saiyan is. Broly launches in towards Vegeta, and Vegeta quickly comes to realize this isn't any normal Saiyan. But it's strange. It's like kind of what he's seen with Goku, Gohan, and Goten. Something about this Saiyan's power, it's unbridled. And even just as the fight begins, he notes Broly's insane growth. But there's a big difference between him, Goku, Gohan, and Goten. Vegeta can't really gauge it too well because he's only been fighting Broly for a few minutes at this point, but he can see that Broly does have amazing potential, although he doesn't know how to control it, and it seems a lot of his power is derived from anger. At first, he thought he was facing an opponent just like Kakarot, but he comes to see that Broly's actually pretty different, and he might be able to work with this. Unlike Kakarot or his kids, Broly can't control that power, and he still has a long way to grow to even be on that level. But if his power comes from rage, well, they just need to make sure Broly doesn't get too enraged. Nappa powers up, joining the fight with Vegeta. The two of them are in Super Saiyan 2. They also have access to Super Saiyan 3, but they're not using it at the moment because they're not really too well practiced with it. They still have to work out the flaws for that, but for now Super Saiyan 2 should be more than enough, at least just to hold Broly off. Well, at least they think so. As the fight continues, Broly of course is going to grow more and more. And now it's getting kind of concerning. And even mid-battle, Vegeta begins to think, all these other Saiyans around him, they grow so insanely quickly. Of course, they all are basically mutants in this scenario, but with the big ratio of mutant Saiyans to just him and Nappa, the normal ones, it makes him think, maybe they're the ones that are abnormal. Maybe these are the normal Saiyans, and they're just the ones that are disadvantaged. Why is it like that? No, that can't be the case. It just has to be a major coincidence that both Broly and Kakarot are like this. Which actually is the case. They also do have Paragus as a way to judge it. He's like a normal Saiyan. So this does reassure him that it's just a very weird coincidence. Otherwise, all the other Saiyans would have been strong too.
Alright, that's a relief. Vegeta didn't want to think he was inherently weaker. Jokes aside though, they start having a bit of a tough time with the battle. Super Saiyan 2 is strong, but not really enough against Broly here, even with the two of them combined. They're gonna need something more. Thankfully, someone else joins the battle. Actually, they sense two powers, but only one of them actually joins in. It's Gohan and Goten. Gohan's watching from the sidelines. He will help if they need, but really, he wants to use this as a test for Goten. He's returned to Earth for a bit, and does want to see how Goten's going to perform here. He jumps between planets due to his responsibilities, and for now, he's here at the right moment. Goten tells the two other Saiyans he's got this, which is pretty shocking to Broly and Paragus because this kid jumps in and says he's going to fight Broly instead. Paragus can tell that this kid is a Saiyan though. I mean, the tail's there, it's pretty obvious. But who is this kid and what is he even going to do against Broly? In base, Goten and Broly actually seem pretty even at the moment, and that comes as a huge shock to Paragus, not really to everyone else there. How is this kid on the level of Broly? Broly's anger continues growing as he goes further and further into his wrathful form, growing stronger and stronger, and eventually, Goten does need to bring out Super Saiyan. But even then with his immense potential, it's more than enough to actually counter Broly, and Goten's having a lot of fun with this. This is an opponent that's on his level. See, Goten's in a kind of weird position. Of course, he has the amazing potential that both Goku and Gohan have, actually a little higher than Goku's because he is a hybrid. But the thing is, he is a kid, he has less years of experience. So while he is incredibly powerful, well, he's not as powerful as Goku or Gohan are. But at the same time, he's stronger than pretty much anybody else that he faces. And it's strange because that makes Broly the perfect opponent for him. Someone who's so far above everybody else, but not really on the level of Goku or Gohan. And Gohan's glad to see this too. He can tell that Goten's thinking the same thing. This is the battle that he's wanted for a while. But how is this fight supposed to end? Broly is not going down. Yeah, Goten might even be a little bit advantaged here, but Broly just keeps getting up. When they think the battle's about to be over, Broly's rage gets him more power, and he gets back into the fight. And Gohan can recognize the power that he's using. Vegeta even comments on it too. Same for Nappa. That's the power of a great ape that he's utilizing. He's completely unhinged and he's just gonna go stronger and stronger with rage. But they don't want to kill Broly. They don't have a reason to kill him. Vegeta and Nappa even tell Gohan why he's here. And from what Gohan can infer, Broly doesn't seem to be the one that's actually initiating this fight. It was Paragus. He basically pushed Broly into this. And for all they know, Broly is actually a pretty decent guy. Goten keeps on knocking Broly down, but he just keeps getting up. And it's not that bad for Goten because he just continues doing this. But it just makes Broly angrier and angrier. And even without Paragus' death, Broly is able to go Super Saiyan. Paragus tries to electrocute Broly, but at this stage, there's no point in doing that because he's too strong. It's not going to affect him at all. And of course, Super Saiyan isn't too impressive to everybody else as a form, but Super Saiyan for Broly, that's a completely different story. So he is actually incredibly powerful here, and that's going to push Goten even further. He has to go into Super Saiyan 2, and eventually Super Saiyan 3, just so he's sure that he has that advantage. Super Saiyan 3 really does give him that reassurance, and Broly is still continuing to grow and grow. And Vegeta, Nappa, and Gohan notice something strange too. Even Paragus wants this to stop now. He sees Broly's too far gone, and they don't know what he's doing with that remote, but then they put two and two together. That collar around Broly's neck. They could see the electricity coming off it. It's doing nothing to him. And that tells them all they need to know. Just like they thought, Broly's doing this against his will. Paragus is controlling him essentially. Gohan lifts a finger up, launching a laser at Paragus' remote. He curses them out, but Gohan says that's not the way to do it. That's not going to work here and it's already too late for it. And even if it would work, frankly, Gohan wouldn't want to do it that way. He's sure that Goten can stop Broly. And as he's watching, he tells Goten, don't hold back. He needs to completely knock Broly unconscious. That's the only way to stop this. And he's confident that Goten can do it. Goten turns over to Gohan, giving him a thumbs up. Quickly, he powers up, going into Super Saiyan 4. This whole thing is making Paragus' head spin. First, Vegeta and Nappa have Super Saiyan and a level beyond that. And then this kid comes in who's also a Saiyan and also has access to Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, which he didn't even know existed. And now he's this, whatever the hell this is. And even though Goten looks completely different in Super Saiyan 4, it's still Goten. He's still a kid, and he has fun with this. Even laughing at the fact that he and Broly are both using a great ape's power. Of course, Broly's completely berserk and has no idea what he's talking about. It's like talking to a brick wall. But it doesn't bother Goten either because Broly just keeps attacking him and Goten takes no damage from it in Super Saiyan 4. He tells Broly thanks for the fight, but he's gonna end this in the best way that he could think of. Just as quickly as he transforms, he ends the battle. With a single punch, Broly is sent flying to the surface below, completely unconscious as Goten descends down just to make sure he's okay. He didn't go overboard, did he? No, Broly's fine. Alright, good. He de-transforms, giving a thumbs up to Gohan once more. Paragus has no idea what they plan to do next, and he does want to take Broly with him, but he thinks that might be too risky. He doesn't even know if these people will let him do that. He was watching the end of the battle, but he was watching it from a spaceship. With everyone watching the fight, Paragus was able to slip away into his spaceship, trying to escape. Yeah, even leaving Broly here. He's acting pretty cowardly and even leaving Broly behind, unsure of how the other Saiyans or Broly would react if he tried to retrieve Broly. They already knew Paragus is kind of an ass, but this really just confirms it. And Broly is now here. They'll keep him in good hands though. They'll make sure he can control this and get him down the right path. On Beerus' planet, Whis was letting Goku and Beerus watch this fight. Pretty interesting. Goku sees that guy's also a mutant Saiyan, but kind of in a different way from him. He's glad that Goten got a good fight out of it and was able to solve it. He knew it would be nothing that he had to get involved with. Right now, they're doing something much more important. They're training together. It's such a strange thing for the other gods of destruction to hear about. Why is Beerus training with a mortal? First of all, how does that even work? How is there a mortal that's even on this level to train with? Well, they already kind of have an idea of how crazy powerful Goku is. And with a rival like that, Beerus is only growing even stronger too. He's actually the strongest god of destruction at the moment because he's actually training with someone who's really powerful. With Goku growing at crazy rates as well, the two of them are competing. They're having fun together as rivals, just as he intended when he first sought out the Super Saiyan God. And they're working towards an amazing power. Goku's already displayed this, but he's working on refining it in a different way, while Beerus, he's looking to get it for himself, Ultra Instinct. Their training continues, and soon enough, another threat does pop up, but in a much different way than normal. Moro escapes, barely having the power that he needs. He's heavily weakened, but he feels that maybe he can make this work. The hardest part was escaping, and now all he needs to do is go to Namek. The Galactic Patrol doesn't head to Earth to try and stop this. There's actually an agent within the Galactic Patrol. It's Maris, and he instead heads to Beerus' planet, knowing that there's a mortal there that's actually pretty powerful, one who already has Ultra Instinct. Maris still is undercover, but he reveals his identity to Goku, which comes as a huge shock to Goku, but more importantly, he's here to describe Moro. Goku says he'll be able to handle this, and Beerus says he will join in if needed, but he doubts it. Goku ends up going to Namek with Maris, with just him alone, and they're confident. This should be overkill. Well, hopefully. As he arrives on Namek, the question is, what is he supposed to do now? He knows Moro could steal his power, so what's the best option here? If he powers up all the way, yeah, it means he could kill Moro pretty quickly, but at the same time, that means Moro could steal a lot of power at once. And if he stays in his base, yeah, he should be okay too, but who knows? Moro might be able to level the playing field while he's in base, draining energy from Goku before he has the chance to attack. And it's a pretty tough decision. If he uses too much power, he's just giving more to Moro, but if he uses too little, well, he's going to extend the time that they're fighting, meaning Moro can get more power. It's a lose-lose situation. But he eventually decides to start out in base, just to not give Moro too much power. But that's the thing. Goku has so much strength, even in base, that Moro is able to absorb enough for him. And by the time Goku does try to transform, well, he's lost a lot of energy. And now Moro's regained a lot. He actually looks a lot more youthful. The energy from Goku. It's incredible. He didn't expect one mortal to have this much energy. The two of them clash, as Moro continues draining more and more energy at a rapid pace from Goku. And at the last moment, Goku tries to activate Ultra Instinct, not allowing Moro to take any more energy from him, but it's already too late. He was able to act quickly enough. Moro's smart. He's cunning. He was able to get energy the second that he knew he had the opportunity to. And that let him even the playing field, and now actually get ahead, since Goku lost a lot. Similar to Buu and Cell, Goku being so strong here is a double-edged sword. When there's an enemy who could thrive off energy like that, Goku being stronger means the enemy could be stronger too. And in a rare moment, Goku's actually defeated by Moro. Thankfully not killed. Moro leaves him alive, knowing that if Goku rejuvenates, he could just take more energy from him. He'll leave this Saiyan here to rot. And since Goku was the only one on Namek trying to stop Moro, well, he's able to get the Dragon Balls to get his wishes. Okay, this is kinda bad, but Goku's not deterred. He still has more than enough power in store, and thankfully by using this method, he didn't give Moro too much energy. Moro absorbed a lot, but Goku wasn't at his maximum power. He needs to recuperate. First, Maris goes to Namek, able to evacuate Goku off of it, and then he has to bring him back to Beerus' planet. By the time this all happens, Moro's wishes are done, he's already regained his youth. Whis is able to heal Goku, and Goku wants to get right back into the fight. But this time, Beerus steps in. He says he's gonna join. He says he doesn't want Goku screwing it up again. But Goku said there was no way around it. In all fairness, Moro's a pretty tough opponent. Him being so strong actually wasn't too helpful here. But he did notice, in that moment that he utilized Ultra Instinct, it was enough. It stopped Moro from taking more energy. But the thing is, he needs more strength in Ultra Instinct too. Because with how strong Moro is now, well, even that might not be enough. But Beerus tells Goku, he has been working on a new evolution of power, so he should be fine. He just needs to not hold back. This time he needs to use that power right away. And Goku confirms this with Beerus. Beerus is going to join along too, just to watch, and in case Goku does need the help, he'll be there. Not long after, Moro is on a planet that's been completely drained of energy. Just as they're about to leave, all of his crew suddenly falls unconscious. Somebody attacks, moving so quickly that nobody else could see it except for Moro. He saw it and sensed it. It's Goku. He's back. All the other prisoners fall to the ground, as Moro stares down Goku, and Moro smirks. Great, another snack. He's glad to see Goku healed so soon, but Goku doesn't exchange many words. He remembers what Beerus was saying. He needs to work as quickly as possible here, not being afraid to use his power. And Moro coaxes Goku into using more strength, trying to encourage him to use that power. And Goku asks if he's really sure. Moro hasn't seen his true power, and Moro's confused. He saw that technique, Ultra Instinct, and he was able to contend against that kinda. And Goku grins. Moro thought that was his full power? Goku powers up, surrounded by a fierce reddish-orange aura. It's Super Saiyan 4, and Moro's confused. He doesn't sense much strength from this form. But Goku reassures Moro. Trust him, this isn't the end of the power. That aura begins morphing, slowly changing from reddish to purple, becoming incredibly intense, with blue ki swirling into it. The power from the aura alone cracks the entire planet. Thankfully, this was just an uninhabited planet, and it's already dead anyways. But Goku does recognize he doesn't want to needlessly destroy anything. As he continues powering up, he explains to Moro calmly. This is the full power of his Saiyan side, Super Saiyan 4, combined with the full power of his godly training, a technique even the gods of destruction are envious of, Ultra Instinct. The two have come together in harmony, and Moro is frozen in fear. He watches the silhouette of Goku step out of the pillar of aura. It's that same Super Saiyan 4 form, except his fur. It's completely white and silver, just like his hair in Ultra Instinct. It's the two of them combined together. And Goku slowly and calmly walks up to Moro. Moro sticks a hand out, trying to absorb energy, but he can't do anything. It's almost like Goku's not even standing there. And that's because he isn't. He's looking at an after image. Moro hears someone talking very calmly. It's Goku. It's like his voice is disembodied. He can't even see Goku. Goku says he wishes he could have continued this fight longer, but he knows Moro is too dangerous. He really did want to test out this power though. With one swift attack, he knocks Moro unconscious. Moro wakes up back on another planet. It's Beerus' planet. Beerus was able to round up all the Galactic Patrol prisoners, locking them away for good. And Moro is terrified at the sight of Beerus, but he can't even react in time. By the time he tries to say something, Beerus already seals him away. Moro is too strong to be imprisoned, but at the same time, Goku didn't want to necessarily kill him right then and there. This was a better solution. Alright, now that that's dealt with, Beerus wants to see the true extent of this power. He tells Goku, it's time for them to fight at full power once more. It's been a while since they sparred at full strength, and Goku hasn't utilized this power too much, but it seems he has a control in it now, even using it against Moro. Even though it was overkill and he didn't really get to use it to its fullest. And the two of them are ready. Goku's still at full power, and that fight with Moro didn't really take too much out of him, and he does really want to fight. It was a little bit underwhelming facing Moro, so yeah, he'll fight Beerus right now. He powers back up into Ultra Super Saiyan 4, his unofficial official name for that. And then Beerus powers up, showing off something that he's been working towards for a while. This one's an odd balance for him. His destructive godly energy flares up, with his full power being shown. But at the same time, another side of him awakens. He has to find the perfect balance, a balance between destruction and creation. Specifically a calmer godly side of him. On top of his full power, he shows something else that he's recently unlocked. He doesn't look much different from before, but his aura definitely looks different. And there's a slight difference in his eyes. They're closed, and he opens them. They look just like Goku's. Of course, this power is no surprise to Goku, but he's glad to finally have an all-out battle with Beerus between these two forms. Beerus is now utilizing Ultra Instinct to its fullest. As Beerus stands there in front of Goku, Goku's just very impressed to see this. Finally, watching Beerus use such a power. And Beerus is just as elated. He's been working so long for Ultra Instinct, and now he'll actually get to have an all-out battle with it. Not only does he have it, that's great as is, but he could actually use it against someone that could face him evenly. That's the most important part. Goku has seen flashes of Beerus using Ultra Instinct, but now he actually gets to fight it, seeing an Ultra Instinct god of destruction in his full glory. And before these two even fight, their power. It's so unfathomable. Both of them actually, just from them standing there, their power could be felt everywhere on Earth. Even people who can't sense God Ki, they could feel some sort of strange presence or something. They can't really put their fingers on it. On Earth, Vegeta, Nappa, and Broly feel this odd presence. Gohan and Goten not only feel the presence, but they sense the godly ki. And Gohan smiles, so that's his dad's current power. King Kai could feel it on his planet. Shin and Kibito could feel it on their planet. The power emanates through the Galactic Patrol prison. The presence is overwhelmingly felt on planet Cereal. Any inhabited planet here feels it, even in other universes. Those who can sense God Ki are able to sense it. The Kais, the gods of destruction. Toppo notes this presence, and Jiren's surprised to hear this from him. Their power could be sensed all the way over here? The two are powered up to their maximum. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus full power Ultra Instinct Beerus. With Beerus using the combination of his god of destruction powers and Ultra Instinct. The power of a destroyer and an angel in one. But there is one thing that annoys Beerus, and Goku too. Goku can't breathe in space. A very strange limitation for someone as strong as him. But a simple fix by Whis. A strange presence coats him, and then he feels normal again. Whis tells him he's granted Goku the ability to breathe in space, at least temporarily, essentially having his own atmosphere. Goku thanks Whis as he and Beerus rise up, floating out of the atmosphere of Beerus' planet, ready for their battle. They're gonna start a little bit restrained at first, just to not accidentally destroy everything. Goku then vanishes, instantly flying across a huge portion of the universe, with Beerus chasing him down. The two streaks of light run parallel to each other, a whitish-bluish light and a whitish-purple light. These lines could be seen throughout all of space, with some places in between where they intersect, and those are the points where Goku and Beerus clash. They're moving so quickly that after images can be seen. Not that anyone else is witnessing the battle anyways, because of how quickly it's happening and where it's happening. Wherever they fly through, their auras are bright enough to illuminate everything. The two continue clashing rapidly. Each of them seems even at the moment. When they clash, there's no difference in power. But that's when they clash, because sometimes each of them is able to dodge the other. They are both using Ultra Instinct after all. Each of them perfectly counters and parries the other, but it's an endless cycle of them not hitting each other at some point. So, Goku decides to showcase more power in order to get more speed so he can actually hit Beerus. But Beerus does the same, and suddenly, they find themselves somewhere that isn't actually where they were before. They're in the world of Void. Whis took them here to avoid breaking stuff in that universe. This was the plan all along. He wanted to let them fight in Universe 7 for a bit, and before things got too bad, he would take them here. Whis is surprised as two other people appear in the world of Void. It's Zeno and the Grand Priest. They knew of this fight going on, and Zeno really wanted to see it. It could be pretty interesting to watch, and Whis welcomes them here. In an infinite void of nothingness, the two of them are able to fight to their heart's content. The two power up even further, shaking the entire world of Void. The Grand Priest even comments, wondering if even this realm can contain that power. The two continue clashing with even more speed and power than before. Each time they collide shakes the Void a little bit more than the last time, and that's when they do collide. Beerus starts talking to Goku, telling him he needs to be the next god of destruction. With power like that, he could use it to ensure a better future for Universe 7 and the multiverse. Also, he'll get to have more cool fights like this, not just with Beerus, but with anybody else whom he decides could be a great rival. Goku's still not sure, but Beerus tells him to look at himself. That strength. Is he really even immortal anymore? He's a god already, not just figuratively, but literally. And he tells Goku to think on it, and they get right back into the battle. The battle continues, but it's not even forever. Eventually, a victor is decided. Exhausted, with a decisive final blow, Goku is able to knock Beerus out. That was an incredibly fun battle, one that's rare with someone with a power like his, fighting someone who's that close to him in terms of power. He knows how much Beerus has been training, and the great powers he had beforehand too. But Goku cemented his position. He's the strongest in the universe, probably the multiverse too. Goku returns to Earth, and he has to discuss something with the others. That proposition that Beerus had for him. He doesn't really like the idea of being a god of destruction, but think of it, all the good that he could do. Beerus has continuously tried to convince him here. If he doesn't like how god of destructions act, he could change that, if he is one. And he's not too sure on the idea. He knows that he has the power to back it up, but could he really be a god of destruction? That doesn't seem like him. And his family has some points to make. Chi-Chi thinks the idea is really cool, and even if he's not necessarily making money, she'll be married to a god and he'll be happy doing this. That's kinda awesome. It's a win-win for both of them. Of course, she's considering Goku's happiness too. And the fact that he's questioning it and not just outright denying it means that he might have a good time doing it. He doesn't really want to leave Earth though, but that's the thing. He'll still get to see his friends and family. He'll just have new responsibilities. Hell, he doesn't even need to live on Beerus' planet. He's a god of destruction, he could do whatever the hell he wants. He could still stay on Earth. A much different future is in store for Universe 7 with a different destroyer. And after some hard thinking, discussing with his friends, and some push from Beerus, Goku eventually decides to go for it. An absolutely insane development that amazes the others once they hear it, especially the other three Saiyans. They can't believe it. Kakarot becoming a god of destruction. I mean, Vegeta always knew he was incredibly powerful. He had some sort of insane potential after all, and now he's this. Also, Goku does get to meet Broly. Interesting. Another new Saiyan out here, and it gets him thinking about the possibilities of being a god of destruction. He'll be able to go around all these different planets, possibly finding even stronger people. People like Broly that they didn't know existed before. It's just like Beerus said, he can continue having these great fights with others, pushing other mortals to become powerful too. But Gohan does have a request. If Goku's gonna become a god of destruction, there's one thing that he needs to do. They need to keep sparring, but before he ascends to true godhood, they need to have a battle as well. Goku was able to fight with Beerus, so Gohan should be able to fight with Goku too. And Goku's surprised to hear this. He knows Gohan's incredibly powerful, but he never even considered. Gohan's another rival of his, someone who could have similar strength to him. He might not have a technique as amazing as Ultra Instinct, but in terms of raw power, this could be an interesting fight. And he's not going to turn it down. It's Goku. He's not going to turn down a fight, especially against someone like his own son. And he's interested. It'll be a great way for him to see Gohan's power. He hasn't really gotten to see how much Gohan's grown lately. He knows he has, as well as Goten. I mean, he did watch Goten's battle with Broly from Beerus' planet, and even though Goten's powerful, Gohan's on a new level, due to his really weird circumstances with the whole Gohan Black thing. So, just like with Goku and Beerus, Whis takes them to the world of Void. And of course, Zeno's there as a spectator this time too. This kinda terrifies Gohan, but Goku tells him not to be worried. Zeno just wants to watch for entertainment, and he even laughs to himself. Someday, they'll be past Zeno's level of power anyways. That's a new height to shoot for. The two power up. Goku once again goes into Ultra Super Saiyan 4, with Gohan going into Super Saiyan 4 Rose. And Goku gets to really see how much Gohan's grown, now sensing his power at his fullest. And the battle begins. Goku comes to learn quickly. Gohan hasn't just grown in his strength, he has grown in techniques. Goku kinda underestimated him here. Yeah, Ultra Instinct's amazing, but Gohan has his own techniques now. The body that he's using, the one that was used by Gohan Black. We saw that Goku Black was able to inherit powers from Goku, so the inverse is true too. Gohan's able to inherit Zamasu's powers, the magical abilities and techniques of a Kai. One of the most useful of them being the Kai Kai, allowing Gohan to teleport anywhere during the battle. They are fighting at immense speeds regardless, but being able to teleport like this, it gives Gohan a little bit of an advantage in terms of movement. Goku's able to dodge a lot of Gohan's attacks, but even when he does, Gohan's able to try and counterattack. He's attacking quickly, fighting offensively, while Goku's dodging quickly, fighting defensively. Every time Goku dodges, Gohan tries another attack, and Goku just has to dodge it again. Gohan's trying to wear him out. And as Goku dodges all these attacks, suddenly, he's attacked from behind too. Blocks Akachi Kachi and fly in from behind him. And Goku's able to destroy them effortlessly, of course, but they serve as a distraction still. He's surrounded by them. At every angle around him, hundreds of blocks of them fly towards him. And Gohan teleports between the blocks, jumping from each one, launching attacks from all different angles at Goku. Goku stands there, dodging everything that's flying towards him. It then feels a strange sensation. He's held there in place. Gohan's paralyzing him. Goku struggles to break free. The two are very similar in terms of power after all. And as Goku tries to break free, he watches as all the blocks fly towards him, closing in on his location, alongside a bunch of blasts that Gohan launched when jumping between the blocks. They all coalesce into one spot, hitting Goku head on, and he can't dodge because he was held in place. It deals a good amount of damage, but Gohan lets go with the spell, and Goku then breaks free from everything surrounding him. He seems injured, and he's breathing heavily, and he looks at Gohan, smiling. He should have expected this. Even with a great power like Ultra Instinct, Gohan is still a tough opponent. He's figuring out smart ways to work around that. The battle continues in this realm, with Beerus being a spectator this time, and he's amazed to see this. Of course he got to experience it firsthand, but watching it again, it's awesome. And Whis looks over at Beerus. He tells Beerus that he'll be under Goku's command soon enough, and Beerus knows. Watching Goku utilize power like this, he knows that the universe will be in good hands. But there's something incredibly shocking about this entire fight. As they watch, they realize something. Goku does have an amazing power with Ultra Instinct, but Gohan has some great techniques of his own. And due to him having higher potential than Goku, he might have actually grown stronger than Goku since they last saw him, utilizing these new abilities that he inherited from the Kais, as well as utilizing his own power, his latent potential and such. The battle continues and Beerus' jaw drops as he watches. Gohan's figuring out more ways to counter Ultra Instinct, just like he did before. And there's a very shocking outcome. Goku's eventually worn out, dropping out of Ultra Super Saiyan 4. He's taken so much damage and used so much power at this point that he just goes to normal Ultra Instinct. Still very powerful, of course, especially in Goku's hands, but it makes the gap so big that Gohan's able to win here. Whis heals them both up after the battle, and Zeno had a lot of fun watching all of this. Universe 7 is definitely in good hands, but he is intrigued by Goku's son, and Goku's not too worried. This will only encourage him to push himself further. As a god of destruction, he does need to maintain his spot, and if Gohan actually is ahead of him, Goku will do whatever it takes to become stronger, and Gohan says he'll keep pushing himself too. Their rivalry will continue, as will their bond as father and son, also master and student. We fast forward a bit, probably a few weeks in the future. Beerus officially retires from his position. He'll stick around, but this is the official end of him being a god of destruction. He does still retain a lot of amazing power after all. Even though he gives up the title, he's still free to do whatever he wants. Well, besides the duties of a god of destruction, of course. He thanks Whis for his millions of years of service and teachings. He was a great teacher and a great colleague, as well as a good friend. Whis tells Beerus to stop. He's gonna make him cry. He sticks out a hand at Beerus, and instead of shaking it, Beerus goes in and hugs Whis. Come on, after millions of years, they're closer than just a handshake. And now, Whis will be Goku's attendant, not Beerus's. It's a bittersweet departure for Beerus, and he could stay in Universe 7, but at least for the time being, he's gonna actually go somewhere else. He's going to Universe 6. He's He's gonna live alongside Champa in order to help him find his God of Destruction for Universe 6. Champa's been thinking the same thing that Beerus did. I mean, they are the same age after all, and he probably wants to retire soon as well. Who knows? Maybe they could find someone just as strong as Goku in Universe 6. Maybe that person hasn't been born yet, or maybe they're already alive and they just haven't been discovered. Either way though, Beerus is gonna assist his brother. It's not just that though. It's about time that he's formed a better bond with Champa. As Gods of Destruction, they don't really get to interact too much. Yeah, occasionally they get to see each other, but they bicker too much. They could definitely grow closer, just like Goku and Gohan. Beerus has seen how Goku acts with his family, how close he is with everyone there, and it makes Beerus actually want to seek out the same thing. Goku is able to grow so strong with all those people supporting him, and also is so happy to have all those people around him. And Beerus doesn't want to take that for granted anymore. He's going to form a better bond with Champa. This is his chance. It's not only going to help Champa find his God of Destruction, but it'll help him find a new bond with his brother. While everyone's on Beerus' planet, they watch. A small portal opens behind Beerus. He sticks out a hand to Goku, saying that it's been fun. And Goku shakes it. And weirdly enough, he hugs Beerus too, just like he did with Whis. He thanks Beerus for everything. Beerus is taken aback, but then smiles, returning the hug. He's finally found his rival, and was bested. He found that Super Saiyan God, and someone who was even stronger than him. He walks through the portal going towards Universe 6, but he turns back to Goku and Gohan. Just because he's retiring doesn't mean he's losing his power. He smirks, and he tells them he'll be back to fight again, and he'll probably be even stronger than before. Hell, maybe he'll bring Champa along too. Maybe Champa will have Ultra Instinct as well. Instead of 1v1, how about a 2v2? Beerus and Champa versus Goku and Gohan. Former Gods of Destruction versus the new God of Destruction Universe 7 and his son. He chuckles to himself, lifting his hands behind his head as he walks through the portal casually. The portal closes, and Whis turns over to Goku, wiping a single tear from his eyes, trying to act cordial. Whis taps his staff on the ground, and Goku's attire then changes, looking kinda like what Beerus had. He'd like to formally introduce Universe 7's new God of Destruction, Goku. Although, God of Destruction isn't really a proper title. That's not who Goku is. This is something completely different. A big change is not just about to happen in this universe, but the multiverse too. Maybe there'll be more gods like Goku soon, in tune with their mortal side, but also having the power of a God of Destruction to back it up. Beerus' planet becomes Goku's planet. Although, just like he mentioned before, he's not going to stay here. His first request to Whis is to take them somewhere. They want to go back to Earth. This planet will be nice to go to from time to time, but it's not going to be their permanent residence. Whis smiles, happy to do this for Goku. Goku's family all stand nearby Whis, as they then all head towards Earth. Goku's planet in this realm sits there, now being temporarily uninhabited. A new future awaits Universe 7, and the future is bright. This is where the story ends. So, what did you guys think about this series? I'm not gonna lie, I was hesitant to do this scenario because I wasn't really too fond of the concept, but I think I was able to make it pretty fun and interesting. Hopefully you guys thought the same. I had fun covering it, and I like how it turned out at the end. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the channel and the scenario, and I'll see you all in my next video.